Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome. Everyone had a great day today. Sharice, baby, Tex Coco, Tessie, sorry, China Doll. What's up, you guys? How y'all doing? Everyone else in the C Tyson, everyone else in the bushes. Welcome, you guys. Like the video, please. As I promised you guys, we're gonna be talking some ish tonight. We're gonna be having hard conversations, serious conversations. Hey, let's get real, baby. How you doing? Conversations that needs to be had. Mika Baby Green, how you doing, sweetheart? Kitty, what's up, baby? Hope everyone had a great day. Hope everyone's doing well. Now, this earlier today, I just did a light little live where we ate some food, had a little conversation and talk and things like that. Tonight, we need to have a serious conversation. And, I think that I've made my views on what's been going on extremely clear, but those are just one person's views, and that person is me. I am always open to have a conversation with people. I'm always open to have dialogue with people. It doesn't have to be something that you agree with me with. Hey, Slicker the Slick, how you doing, sweetheart? But it's something that we need to have a conversation, and that's where it starts. Us being able to listen to each other, speak to each other, actually communicate with one another, actually hear what each other is saying, and come up with some solutions and some resolutions to what's happening and what's going on, at least as much as possible. Let's state some facts first. Hey, Tiana, baby, how you doing? Let's state some facts first. This country has been created on the backs of other people, while the majority takes credit for those accomplishments. This country has been steeped in racism, social injustice, classism, and all of those things. Those things we know. Those things we have been privy to. Those things we have seen. But now, in this day and age, while not forgetting about the past, we need to start living in the present and moving towards the future while still taking notes from what happened previously so it doesn't happen again. Hey, Southern Bill, how you doing? Britt Girl Haley, what's up, baby? How you doing? So the conversation I want to have with you guys tonight is, and I really want to have a conversation with you guys. I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit so we can talk to one another. So you actually have your voice heard, not just type in the chat. And I would really like us to have a conversation about this and not just have people typing in the chat. You know what I'm saying, because it's hard for people to get the nuances of what's going on, what you feel, your energy, your voice, your anger, your sadness, whatever emotion that you're feeling, your frustrations. It's hard to actually get that when you're just typing in the chat. So I would really like for people to have a voice and be active participants in this conversation. And over here, we like to have conversations where we actually listen to one another. I don't want people to, if you have really positive energy or really aggressive energy, that's fine to have that as well. But we must be respectful of one another. We must be respectful of each other's opinion. And that's where it starts, I think. Now, I'm not quite sure where everyone else lives and whatever happened in your city. I'm talking about my city, Atlanta. And based on what happened yesterday, today, and for the past, since Monday. You don't have to like what I'm saying. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. But people who live here in Atlanta, we know certain areas. We know how the city runs. We know the energy of the city. Now, when you're burning down, breaking windows, causing destruction at the aquarium, at CNN Center, at Lenox Mall, Phipps Mall, all up and down Marietta Street, I understand that you're angry. Understand that you are upset. Understand that you want change. You're tired of feeling a certain way. You're tired of watching these things on the news. You're tired of people not listening, not feeling like you're being heard. But what does the aquatic animals at this aquarium have to do with anything? What does the Football Hall of Fame that's here in Atlanta have to do with anything? You're mad, you're angry, but what does your anger, why does your anger have to affect people who have worked hard to build something that have nothing to do with it? What does breaking the windows and destruction of CNN Center have to do with anything? What does looting and robbing Gucci have to do with anything? Now you can finally say that you have some real Gucci in your closet. Jimmy Choo, all these expensive stores, Armani Exchange, all up and down the shops of Phipps Plaza. You are breaking windows at Valentino. You're breaking windows at all these different. Hey Nadine, baby, how you doing? What does that have to do with a man losing his life, a woman losing her life, racial inequality in this country? Do you guys realize that there have been videos of people where there are pallets of bricks in these areas where they want to cause this destruction? Do y'all realize that? Why does placing pallets of bricks have to do with peaceful protest or having a voice? And I know that it's not, like I said yesterday when I was on my lunch break, a lot of us as people of color, not just black people, people of color, or people with impoverished means or impoverished situations. What does that have to? We were joined into the situation, but we're not going to initiate it. We're not going to be the one that ignites this. We'll go out and protest. We'll go out and rally. Was not. But the first rock that was thrown in Atlanta, the first rock that was thrown in Minneapolis, the first point of destruction was caused by another, actually a cop that was in disguise to incite this, to change the narrative. What's up, this old baby? How you doing, sweetheart? You know what I'm saying? Leslie, how you doing, baby? To change the narrative, to get it off of, yes, this man was murdered on camera, to now look at these thugs rioting and turn up the city. That's what people want you to do. They want you to look past, you know what I'm saying, the actual event that caused people to start protesting. But they want them to look at the violence and stuff. And when we contribute to that violence, regardless of how outraged we are, we're part of changing the narrative. We're part of taking advantage of a situation that we shouldn't be doing, because it doesn't change the fact that people have been getting killed and damaged and hurt and harmed over decades, hundreds of years, over social and financial injustices that goes on in this country. That's a very sad story. Now, my thing is that I love everyone and I want people to have their voice. I want you to talk about and participate in however you want to speak or be heard. But as I was saying a couple of days ago, we have to think of consequences for these actions. If you think that violence is going to create a difference, by all means, it's not my place to tell you not to do it. Hey, Shaquila, babe, how you doing? But I want you to think. I want you to actually think critically and ask yourself, if they're out here killing black men or black people or brown people or people of color, and you are a person of color, and you go out here being part of this destructive behavior and showing this destructive behavior was not, how safe is it for a person of color like me? Because what you don't understand is that they don't care that I'm well spoken. They don't care that I'm a productive citizen. All they see now, and all we have shown them now, is that people of color don't care. don't care enough to try to have a conversation, don't care enough to try to look at things differently. So when they see me walking down the street or running and jogging was now, walking through a park or taking a shortcut through a construction site, first thing they see is that predator that they have been shown all their life and that they have seen during times like this. And next thing you know, I'm the person with a knee on my neck, with a boot in my back, a gun to my head. They don't want to hear that I can actually speak to them and speak well and actually be coherent. All they're seeing is that image of what they have been shown, not only by the news media and society, but what people who look like me have done as well. It's not because I'm an aggressive person regardless. I'm a fighter. I fight. That's what I do. I talk ish. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's not the point, Leslie. See, that's not the point right there. See, the thing is, what we're not going to do, and I love, thank you for the comment. While that is tragic, what is burning down Gucci going to do? Is it going to bring him back? If burning down Jimmy Choo here in Atlanta, if burning down Phipps Plaza, robbing and looting Phipps Plaza will bring him back, then I can say good. I agree with you, but that's changing the narrative once again. We need to be able to have a conversation and stick to the topic at hand. He's gone. My heart goes out to him and his family. He did not deserve it. I wholeheartedly agree with you. You can't get the image out your head. I understand that as well. But with the image in your head, what is it that you want to have accomplished? What is it that we want? Do we want to have the right to be to have social protests? Is it something that we want to be united, you know what I'm saying, in a common goal of being able to be treated like human beings? Hey, how you doing, baby? But while we all agree that that is wrong, the differences that we are having is that the conversation that we need to have is how are we going to change it for the future? Or can we change it for the future? Because this isn't the first time we've seen a black brown person murdered from running away, from selling loose cigarettes, saying they can't breathe, being in police custody and dying. Deanna told a story, was it this morning or yesterday? I forgot what day it was. That someone where she lived was in police custody and died. They said that he's hung himself, and we all know the first thing they do when they put you in a cell, take off your shoelaces. You're not allowed to have that. Was not, because that can be used as a weapon against yourself and against other people. So how did he hang himself? They don't take away your belt. We know these things. So this isn't the no. See, the thing is, you didn't say anything wrong. But I want us to keep with the moving forward. Like, we can always look back. Yeah. What we're not going to do, moderators, when you're in here, we're not going to have people like this come in trying to distract. We're not going to have people coming in here acting like they're more important than the conversation that we're trying to have. So what you don't understand is that we're going to just remove you altogether and stop playing with me. That's what you're not going to do. Hey, Sims Overdose, baby, how you doing? See, that's what the distractions is that we have up in here. People think that they can do whatever they want to do and they can say whatever they want to say well, it's not, and think it's okay. Don't come in here trying to attention seek. Don't come in here trying to deflect and distract what's going on. See, I'm trying not to cuss your ass out, but you're real close to getting your feelings hurt by me. And that goes for everyone, was not. Please, let's not. Hey, Sam, sorry, baby. Let's not keep on falling for these distractions, these deflections, these people who want to come in places and put bricks on the side of the road so they can be thrown through windows. Because basically, that's what that is. Play with someone else. Don't play with me. See? Exactly. My point is, burning down Rodale Drive, how did that bring George Floyd back? How did that stop the next George Floyd from happening? There's a whole list of people over the past 10 years who have died in police custody or due to police brutality. And after all the major ones, there has been protests, there has been riots, there has been, fish fries, there has been hashtags, there's been things like that. And one of the major things that has been said is Black Lives Matter. That was the distraction of All Lives Matter, was a distraction to Black Lives Matter. When was the last time before recently has we heard Black Lives Matter? We matter too. Black lives matter. Black lives is not something to be taken advantage of or something to be taken for granted or to be taken period at your will. While all the racial and social injustices that happens to Black and brown people is horrendous and horrible, do we think that it's going to change when we burn something down? I understand we're frustrated. I understand we're angry. I understand we're mad. But at the same time, how can we channel that anger into positive change? I'm going to drop the link, you guys. So I want you guys to please come on in and, let's have a conversation about it. Let's talk about it. Let's actually be productive in our conversation. You're fine, Tessie. I know you would have been on it, baby. I know you got things going on there, baby. I really would like people to come in and have a conversation with me about this so we can actually talk about it. And I can get your ideas. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hear my ideas on this channel, but we rarely hear differences of opinions and difference of ideas. Okay, no problem. Let's get real, baby. Yes, definitely. But yeah, it's just funny how, and people want to cuss me out. Because even before this happened in Atlanta, I remember I was on Duchess, nothing changes when burn things down. And that's the whole point. I'm getting that right there. Exactly, Michael Baby. That's exactly what I was saying yesterday. When I was saying think critically was not when you're burning things down and looting and causing destruction and costing millions of dollars to everything. All you're doing is giving them the reason to create martial law in your city in this country, where they will have the right to gun you down, to detain you, to beat you, to restrict you from moving, to restrict you from going places where it's not. And then people like I was at work yesterday, and we have a white young lady who worked there. She's like, "Well, I don't believe in martial law." But I asked her, "What do you suggest happen? You would suggest people just continue to burn things down, to loot, to rob, to steal, to kill? Do you think that it's okay when you do those things? You give the people in power, the racist people in power, the ammunition they need to kill you, to hurt you, to destroy you." They don't think of because they want to stay in power, Sam. They want to stay in power. They want to keep what they have. They want to keep what's going on. They want to make sure that they stay in power. That's exactly, and that's what I was telling her. I was telling her that it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter if you think it's okay. The reality of it all is that it's closer than you think. And yesterday, the governor here in Georgia started with the state of emergency based on what happened in those couple of hours. You start with a state of emergency, then they start declaring martial law in certain places. Then they start declaring curfews and things of that nature. Welcome, Tessie, baby. How are you doing today, sweetheart?
Hello. How's everybody doing? Hi, Jackie. How are you?
I'm doing well. You're kind of low and you're kind of echoing, baby. You have me on the other screen.
No, I don't. Is this better?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
you sound much better now. Thank you. Sound much better now, sweetheart. So
I'm
what's
just
your thoughts, sweetheart?
the device. Okay. The first thing I wanted to discuss is just a little bit of my understanding of history, because I think that we have to have an understanding of the beginning of a thing in order to understand how to move forward. The first thing that I want to discuss is slavery in and of itself, because we know that's where our history and our plight begins. The history of slavery was purely based on greed and finance. And what caused slavery to end was not because people felt sorry for or felt bad for black people. It was because of the shift in the economy in this country, whereas becoming or owning slaves was not deemed to be financially suitable for this country as it began to grow and industrialize. I just want people to go back and read and understand history, that it wasn't because people's feelings were changed as to why the slavery was abolished. So we have to get that first and foremost out of the way.
Correct. Correct. And can you hold your thought 1 second was that, and just to touch on your point of slavery was not. People need to realize the reason why this country is the way it is and how powerful we are and how much economic power we have with it, because for about 400 years, you had a free workforce. That you didn't have
Exactly.
to pay, that you didn't have to do. All you have to do is throw them some slops. And hey, Kwani, hey baby, how you doing? All you have to do is throw them some slops and throw them some scraps of what's not what you don't want, and and you wanted them to be okay with that. When we started to uprise and say we want more, we demand more, we want equal pay, equal this, equal that was not. That's when, like you said, with the revolutionizing of this country and the economic was not opposed to the agricultural aspect of it, we started to change the mindset of how things was looking. So you're absolutely right about that.
Right. So the basic foundation is that mass producing industry through cotton mills and things of that nature, rather than cotton picking, okay,
Correct.
is where this country was headed. So we gotta understand that it's a finance thing first.
Right.
Okay.
It's all
So
financial.
last night I was putting it in the chat, but I truly want people to understand the foundations of all of this stuff. And when I put it in your chat last night, I talked about the redistribution of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
That is the foundation of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's the foundation of the fight when the Union soldiers fought against the soldiers in the South.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is the foundation of why you have Republican versus Democrat,
Mm-hmm.
rich versus poor, the laws that talk about long-term capital gains and inheritance taxes, as opposed to just a sales tax when you go and buy a can of pork and beans from the store. Okay.
Correct. Correct.
Redistribution of wealth, and I'm trying to bring it down. I'm hoping that if you guys have questions or whatever, y'all just I'm not reading the chat, so I'm just trying to let it flow like I normally would. Um, but when you look at the Black Wall Street, look at some of the things what happened in Rosewood. These were areas where blacks started to thrive financially. We had developed financial institutions for ourselves. We had gained land, gained property, actually gained businesses. And it was the issue to where the redistribution of wealth Once it shows its head, then the majority then comes to try to tear it down. Okay. And it's been that way since the beginning of this slavery thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So fast forward to today. Okay. We talk about solutions. And so I believe that the solutions are going to be very difficult.
There they go. Go ahead.
They must start with getting rid of things that hamper the redistribution of wealth. Now, I know that's a lofty goal, but here are some examples. Lifetime appointments of federal judges. A lot of these judges in the federal system, every last one of them have a lifetime appointment.
Right.
Okay, even the ones up in the Supreme Court, it's a lifetime appointment. The only time they get thrown out of office is if they do something criminal.
Right.
Okay, that is not allowed to be covered up. Okay, politicians being allowed to term limits on all politicians.
Right.
That needs to happen. Okay, there needs to be laws changed that affect. Like I was trying to put it in the chat last night, mineral rights. You guys need to understand that if you have a deed to a piece of property, that's good. But you know what's more valuable? That oil.
Right.
That soil.
Exactly.
That gold that's under there.
Right.
You guys realize
but
that the leases.
Sorry.
Yes.
Not only just the gold, but the silver, the copper, the zinc, all those minerals was not the earth. What the earth provides you, that soil, the water that runs through your property was not. All those things is what it is that we don't think about as a people, as people of color, that we don't think about that, not only because everything you're saying is so correct and so true. There's so much more than just, oh, I own a house. I'm a homeowner. Are you a landowner? Do you own property? Do you have a redistribution of wealth? Do you have the means or a plan to have generational wealth? Was that so? Even when you're not here, your wealth and your hard work won't be squandered away. And are the laws and stuff in place to help protect us as people of color, like they protect everyone else? And do we understand those laws and those rights that we have? And you guys also, please, we want other people to come in and talk as well. I know Lex Mass says she's going to come in a little bit after she put the baby asleep, but I'm dropping the link throughout this so I can have not just a monologue with you guys or just a one-on-one conversation with me and Tessie, but I want everyone to have positive influence and positive conversations as well. So please, you guys, if I drop the link, if you have something productive and helpful and even your heart desires to say, come on and say it. So it's nice to hear a voice opposed to just reading the chat.
Perfect. Let me just add my one more little point, guys. Okay, follow me, guys. Follow me. Okay. With respect, I'm gonna stay on that point right there. With those leases go on for hundreds of thousands of years. Okay, back when the first industrialists were going in and they were mining and they were drilling for oil and things like that, and they were forming these large monopolies, these companies and things like that. They obtained leases underneath the soil throughout the United States, and these leases were allowed to remain legal. Okay, the monopolies were when I guess John D. Rockefeller. Okay, I'm not trying to give you a whole lot of history, but his court case was the one that got rid of monopolies. But what they didn't do was terminate the ability to have long-term leases for those mineral rights. Can you imagine how much peace you would have as a property owner if you were able to not just have a mortgage, but that the mineral underneath the dirt of you would produce you a profit so that you could pay your mortgage? Can you imagine how much wealth you be able to pass down? And so that's another solution, is that we need to demand that Congress eliminate all those long-term leases, which give minimal rights to companies probably who've been gone for hundreds of years, but those leases and those royalties from those leases keep passing down. And they're not passing down to our people. They're passing down to heirs that's 100 times removed from the original owner of the business, guys. And that's one thing, in my opinion, that's another thing that we need to demand from Congress. It's got to come from the federal government, not just us, but the federal government. There are some things that we need to demand changing, and those are the two things I recommend.
And not only that, just think about the peace of mind that you have, knowing that you don't have to do anything but have that residual income constantly coming in on a monthly, weekly, daily basis.
Ooh, those royalties from those mineral rights, okay? Most people don't even understand it because they pass separately from the land itself. They pass separately from the soul, okay? They are recorded separately.
Right.
An actual deed.
Right.
Okay. So because they are contractual in nature, they don't even, most people don't even bother to even go and look.
Right.
Hey,
who owns that?
This particular piece of property owned by so-and-so railroad company.
Mm-hmm.
This company no longer exists. So the heirs of this company is now so-and-so and so. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Those things need to be stopped in their tracks.
And what?
Go ahead.
For the break, what Tessie is saying is that this right here, you own the building, but the land in which that building sits on and all the resources and minerals that land provide and produce, you don't own.
Exactly. It's only the title own.
Exactly. So therefore, while you may be making a profit or owning the building itself, all the money that is being made underneath that building or produced underneath that building with that is not yours. And that those rights, those mineral rights, have been already deeded to companies hundreds of years ago that may be no longer in existence, which means their heirs can be doing whatever it is that they want to do with that, and you don't even know it. You think that you're doing something big because you own that building itself, and you think that you own that land. And you may own land, but you don't own the minerals in that land. It's actually three different aspects that you need to be checking into: the property itself, the land itself, and the mineral rights of that land.
Exactly. And see, this is one thing that I want to make clear. The mineral rights are contractual. They're not passed by deed.
Exactly.
Passed by contract. So therefore, a company that may have been around 300 or 400 years ago, hey, those contracts need to be stopped. Some of these companies no longer exist.
Exactly.
But because other smart white people just can start some dummy company and then it can pass on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Contract lease for 99 years can just keep passing another 99 years and keep passing another 99 years and keep passing another 99 years. And you guys, if you could just study that stuff to see exactly what I'm talking about. Don't take my word for it, okay? Don't take my word for it. And then you'll see, hey, this is a way for us to get some resources.
Wealth, right?
Exactly. But that's what I wanted to add for right now, and I appreciate you for letting me join the stream.
Well, thank you for coming in, baby. I think this is the type of conversation we need to have. Like, it's okay to talk about, okay, well, this is what happened, so let's focus on what happened. No, but let's talk about stuff that will help, that will give us economic power to effectively make a change. Because if you don't have economic power, if you don't understand what your economic dollar does or what your dollar do and how your dollar can affect change, you are already behind the 8 ball. You already think that your only obligation or your only outlet is to destroy something that you don't have or that you don't own and you don't care about.
Exactly. One last thing, guys, y'all listen up. What I also would like for folks to do, if y'all get time, okay, is to try to find you a government contract. I don't care if you got like an acre or something like that. You got all kinds of contracts. Do you know that people are selling cans of pork and beans to the prison system and getting rich? Do you know people are cutting hair in the prisons and getting rich because they have a government contract? Find out how to get involved in these government contracts, folks. That's where the money can be made. You guys can become instant millionaires, but the ball has been hidden. Go and find the ball. I'm trying to tell you guys where some of these gems are. All you got to go do is look for it, okay? Y'all have a good night.
Thank you for coming in, Tessie, baby. I definitely appreciate your insight and your wisdom, sweetheart. And see, the thing is, there's a lot of you guys as subscribers. Hey, Captivating Baby, how you doing? There's a lot of. That's why I want to open this up to everyone on here, because there are a lot of subscribers who don't have channels, who have a lot of knowledge to give and to share and to understand and to talk about what is not. So that's why I think that these type of conversations is so important, that we talk about solutions. We understand history. We understand politics. We understand economic statuses and different things with that. Like I said, I can have a conversation about anything because I like to read. I like to study. I like to research. I like to fill myself with as much information as possible so I can have a conversation with anyone about anything, where I know my rights, where I understand my rights, where I understand where my power lies and where my privilege lies. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that I like to surround myself with people who are learned, who don't think that they're too smart to learn something new on a daily basis, to understand that I have to be able to listen and understand and converse with people as not of different economic statuses, different races, and different emotional maturities and intelligence levels was not, because you just can't be a person who thinks that you know everything. If you're constantly thinking that you just know everything, you know nothing. That's what that tells me, because I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't know anything. The little bit that I know, I'm confident in, but I always can, learn more. I always can learn from someone else. I always can do something else. I always can be that person to, seek knowledge from everywhere. Hey, Lex, get real, baby. How you doing, sweetheart? Welcome. Can't hear you. Oh, go ahead. Can't hear you, baby, but when you come in, I can hear you. Well, while Lex get real, work on her audio, she's gonna come back in. Like I said, while what happened is tragic, while what happened is horrendous, while what's going on right now is crazy, we definitely need to start thinking critically, start looking at different avenues and different aspects of what's going on and how we can change it. And one major way we can do it, why are we waiting till July 7th to stop spending money? The black dollar, the economic dollar that the black people have is powerful. Why are we waiting a month and some days to stop spending money at certain places and stop supporting certain people? Why do we have to wait till then? Why don't we start immediately? Why don't we start that now? See, I don't understand when people want to promote, okay, well, within a month and a half after we spend all the money on 4th of July and put in all those dollars for 4th of July, how about we take a break from 4th of July? How about we stop spending money on frivolous things? How about we just spend money on things that we actually need? And Lex, get real, baby, please, if you can come back in, I would love to have you and hear your voice. I always know that you have something very intellectual to say. There she go again. Can you hear me now, baby?
I can hear you, but y'all, I don't think you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, sweetheart. Yes, I can.
Okay, good. I don't know what happened.
It's okay.
I just wanted to say just a quick couple things before we got into the conversation.
No problem.
The first thing is, I just wanted to tell you thank you for your platform and allowing people that actually don't have a channel to speak on this, because it doesn't matter if you're black or not. This affects us all. And as me as a black female, I know you said earlier that you hadn't really experienced major racism in your life? I have. So um, it's crazy that this is going on. But I thank you for allowing us to have, a place to come and not get attacked. Like you're controlling, and I'm not talking bad about that. Just we both were on there the other day, but I
Right.
think it got a little bit out of hand because, we had a difference of opinion. And honestly, I didn't have that much of a difference of opinion. I agree with you and the other side, which is crazy, but it was people coming talking about, well, no, you're not right, and this isn't this didn't happen in your city. And I'm like, I live in here, I live there, I know what happened, but regardless, thank you, I appreciate it. And then the second thing I wanted to say was, Ted girl, you was preaching on facts tonight. I wish you had a channel like, cause when you were saying look into certain things, I mean, it's information that people know how to research that. I mean, yeah, you can Google it, but like you may come into a roadblock. But thank you for your words of wisdom. You like you're 22, 25, but girl, you speak like you've been here, a long time. So thank you for your words of wisdom, because that was absolutely correct what you were saying tonight, and it was very informative. So
One thing
thank you, John and Tessie.
no problem. One thing that's people don't realize that Tessie's a doctor. She's extremely smart.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's Dr.
Very.
That's Dr. Tessie, babe. Tessie, as much as she windmills on these streets, she's a doctor. She's extremely smart. She's extremely extremely resourceful, and that's what people don't understand was that we, as people, we look a certain way, but people realize that there's so much. We're so nuanced in who we are.
Yeah.
We are so.
That's a good gene. That's a good black gene, because you would never think she's as wise as she is.
Right. So go ahead, babe. Finish
She just looks young.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
But yeah, very beautiful. But her voice is amazing, and her knowledge is amazing. So I know she's been on these streets a while, so she's not gonna, have a channel. But anytime you come to a platform like this and you want to drop some knowledge, please do, Ted, because we all learn some things. But I just saw her comment on my computer. I got it. Sorry if you hear some noise in the background. Let me take this toy away from the dog. Move, Shyla. Okay, so she spoke on the before and what we do after, and I know that you want to talk about what's going on with your city. That stems from Minneapolis and Minnesota, what's going on there, St. Paul, all those things. And my stance doesn't change from Duchess Kelly Love's Lives. I'm just able to voice it a little more. We can actually have a civilized, dialogue.
Right.
But but I understand the frustration, because again, I remember you saying that you have not experienced a lot of the things that a lot of other people have. But to be honest, I'm a brown-skinned black girl.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with being dark-skinned, nothing wrong with being light-skinned, nothing wrong with being in the middle. But I experienced racism before. Like, I hear a lot of dark-skinned. When I say dark-skinned, I'm not trying to say like I'm the lightest thing or anything like that. To me, I feel like I'm more on the darker side. But what I mean, like, is they good blackberry skin. They good, just glisten in the sun type skin. And I experienced it. So I said it on this. So anybody that doesn't know, I live in Arkansas. I live in the capital of Arkansas, Little Rock. So I mean, I have nothing to hide. I don't give a damn if you bad. So I've experienced that, and for me, it's not been once, twice. It's been when they pull you over. It's not as bad as it is a lot of males. And I think that's just because of ego, but they do want to let you know, put you in your place. And there was one time, I'm gonna make this quick. I challenged a police officer, and what was wrong, because I wasn't taught that. My parents have always taught me that to respect police officers and law enforcement, authority. But because of what could happen, but they never taught me the actual laws. So if I knew the laws then, I would have told them, you had 15 minutes to detain me on this traffic stop, or else you gotta let me go. I would have, I would have did more. But at that time, I was scared as hell. So I was younger, and it was late, and my homegirl, we had left the club, and I was trying to take it. This was years ago, and I was trying to tell her to go ahead, go home, because she was riding with me. She didn't have a car at the time, and she was like, "Why do you want to go back to your house and chill?" I said, "Okay, cool." So I finally took her back to her house, which is, you got to cross the bridge, and you got to go down this long stretch. It's in another city. A white man was a developer and built the city. And the only reason I know, I had a jury duty and found out, oh, you're rich because you built this racist little city or whatever. So I'm driving, dropped her off, came back, and I get pulled over. So when he initially pulled me over, I should have said, why am I getting stopped? He never answered it to after he couldn't put something he tried to put on me. And I'm going to tell you what it was real quick. So he proceeds to shine the flashlight all in my eyes. And I'm like, I'm moving back, and he's steady following me with the flashlight. I don't know if he was trying to see if my eyes were dilated or what. I don't know what he's trying to see. And then he looks all around the car. Now, mind you, at that time, this is how old this was. It was I had a Saturn, the 3-door cars. They don't even make Saturns anymore. You know what I'm saying? And definitely not that model. And so then he goes, "Why do you have so many air fresheners hanging up?" Because I had one on each. You know how you have the pull handles by the doors at the the top of the roof? I had the air freshener on either side. Okay. Then I had one hanging on the front mirror. And I said, because I like my car to smell good. He was like, "Are you sure you're not trafficking drugs?" I said, "What?" Now, mind you, I've worked for hospitals. I get doctors paid all since I started working, pretty much. Like, what are you talking about? I get random drug tests. I get if something happens to me on the job, I have to go get drug tested. As I'm getting treated, I have to get drug tested. And not only that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I cannot be in a mental state where I can't do my job. So I was like, no. And he kept pressuring me. He was like, "I just don't understand why you got all these I said, because like my car is smelling good. He said, "Well, we done had," now mind you, they don't have hardly any crime, so you didn't have that better to do. He was like, we just done had a lot of drug trafficking coming through here, and you have all these air fresheners. I said, "Well, I tell you what, if I was having that many drugs coming through my trunk, you would be able to smell it past these air fresheners, wouldn't you?" And so then he goes, "Well, can I search your car?" I said, "Absolutely not." Now I knew that part. And I said, "Absolutely not." He said, "Well, I'm going to call the dog." I said, "Okay." He said, "If they find anything, then I'm going to search your car, and I have probable cause." I said, "Okay." He called 2 different dogs, 2 different police officers with 2 different dogs. So at this point, it's 3 white men, tall, white, stocky men, and 2 dogs ready to bite. We get out the car, and they search your car. They search my car, and he didn't find out nothing. And then he finally called him off, because at this point, for them to even arrive, had been past 15 minutes. So if I had knew the laws back then, I would have been like, "It's past 15, you can't detain me." I would have called the police on the police, you know what I'm saying, or recorded it or something. And then he goes, "Well, the reason I was stopping you really was because you were speeding." And he wrote me a bogus ass ticket down to me for years. Because he wrote it so high that I wasn't even able to pay it, because the speed costs more. And so I understand that you haven't experienced that, but a lot of us have. And the reason I brought up skin color was not because I feel some type of way, but it was because, a lot of times if you're lighter, you get a pass more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And a lot of times if you're lighter too, your own community puts that on you. You know what I'm saying? Like they make it sound like you're not part of the community because your skin may be lighter than the next person's. Right. So that was the reason I brought it up. But it was amazing to me that he went to those depths to sit up here and act the fool with me. And I was terrified the night or whatever. So I get when people say they're scared for their, this was years and years and years ago. This had to have been over 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I it's still going on to this day. And when people are frustrated, when people are pissed off, you're not thinking clearly, and I do agree with you. You're acting for emotion, but but the one thing that when you said that Duchess live, I feel like emotion is the rawest form. Like when you're acting, I'm not out of, frustration, that emotion, or you're literally fed up. That is one of the rawest forms of emotion, because you can control your happy. You can play happy. You can play like you have a happy emotion. You can play like a sad emotion. But frustration is really a hard emotion to portray.
Right.
And saying that, I think we have to be smarter though.
Mm-hmm. That's my whole point. And let me clarify, so there's no misunderstanding when I'm saying that I haven't experienced this harsh boot in the neck type of racism. I haven't experienced that. What I have experienced, I have been pulled over before, and like I said previously, was not. I do ask the question because I do know my rights. I made it a point to know, being a black man in America, was not what I can do, what I can't do, what I can say, what I can't say, how long I am supposed to be detained. Do I need to speak to him? Do I not have to, do I have the right not to speak to him? Was not. I learned all those things. So when I am pulled over, or when I did get pulled over, was not, I'm very respectful, but very stern in my rights and knowing my stance. What I need to say, what I'm saying was that. So I have been put over. Was not. I have experienced some racism, but I haven't experienced the point, because when you talk to me, was not. I let you know that I'm intelligent. I let you know that I know my rights. I let you know that you're not going to say anything you want to say to me. Was not. While I'm still stern in what I'm saying to you, was that I'm still respectful of your position.
Right. And I learned my rights after then. But I do want to say this: everybody gets pulled over and they get into a conflict. It's not because they're not intelligent. It's not because they're not speaking with authority, but also giving respect. It's certain situations because you're literally a racist jackass, and you are making sure that you flex that you got the authority and power. Right. It's been cases where they're in open state carry city, you know what I'm saying, or state, and it's, you have to register that. And if you've done everything by the book, but because you see it's a black man, because our driver's license follows us everywhere and by race, because you're a black man, you automatically try to go there with that person or kill that person. And it's not just black men. That's another thing. It's not even just black men. It's black women a lot of times. But it's a man's world, so it's all focused on any type of man, whether you white, black, brown, yellow, gray, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to touch on that. And I wanted to say that it's not that I don't agree with them burning down things. Because if you look at the past history, there were white people that burned down things. There were so many different cases. I don't agree with us not being strategized. Because if we're strategized and prepared, you wouldn't dare be burning down your own people's stuff.
But at the same time, it's not
be burning down.
The thing is, really, and the question I always have is this: I agree with being frustrated. I agree with you wanting to do something, and this and that and the third. Once again, I have the question:
what does it do when you burn down something?
Yeah, what does the Gucci store have to do with it? What does Valentino have to do with it? You're costing a company that's overseas money for something that happened, and that's the transgressions that's here in America. I don't understand it. To me, that's not logical.
Okay, and so let me break it down to you. Okay.
And then also, when you burn down a police station, was not. But then yet, if someone's beating your ass or robbing you, was not. Those are the same people that you're going to call to come try to help you. I don't understand that. I don't like that's like spitting in the face of someone. As wrong as they are, as messed up as they are, as delusional as they are, right at this moment, they are the only source of power or source of protection that we have in this country, besides our own rights to protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? If someone's breaking into your house, and you don't have a firearm in your home to protect yourself, what's the first call you're going to make? To the police.
911, to the police.
Exactly. So if you burn down the place that's going to come to your house to protect you, opposed to the 10, 15 minutes it may take them to get there, it may take them an hour and a half now, because they're already thinking that, damn, I don't give a damn. They burned down my job. And speaking of that, someone said, and there's not, speaking of the whole Duchess thing, they said, well, that's not their house, that's their job. Let me go to your office building and burn down your office building and see how much that affects you.
No, I got that.
Not you, baby. I'm saying
okay. Yeah, I know you did, but I just wanted to put out there. I got where you were coming from.
Yeah.
But I also understand the other side. So let's play devil's advocate for a second.
Always, let's do that.
Pose the questions one by one, and then I answer them on the other side. Now, mind you, I want y'all to understand, it's not that I don't agree with him, but it's also not that I don't understand from the other side. So we're going to play devil's advocate. So I don't know if you remember I think the first question you asked was, what does that do for you, burning down buildings? Okay, so if you remember the first question and you ask it, I'm going to answer it. We're going to play devil's advocate. We're going to have actual dialogue.
What do you remember them? So that'd be a good way to start. That's a good way to start right there.
Okay. I think, and I don't know if I was right. You guys can tell me. Well, the chat, YouTube is messing chat. I can't see anything right now, so stop. But I think the first question that you asked was, what does it do for you? You understand the frustration, but what does it do for you burning down the building and burning up things? Right. And my answer was, I disagree with burning things. I disagree with burning businesses that are not affiliated or businesses that are not Black owned. The reason I say that is because there have been plenty of things that have went on over this past, let's just go with the past month that have went on. They have not gotten this type of attention. Breonna Taylor, she was in the news for a day, 48 hours, and then it was passed over because nothing was burned for her because, again, she's a female. So, I feel like when you burn things down, it's not just it's a frustration, but it's not just a frustration. It's a way to say, we're not going to take this because let's be real about the situation. When it comes to America, Texas just gave a whole rundown. And America cares about dollars. Now, granted, people may say they're insured. People may say, well, they may not come back, or to this community. But the attention has been on a national, not just in the state, on a national spotlight because I'm not gonna say we because it was things were burned down. Mm-hmm. But so that is my answer to that.
Okay, let me piggyback on the answer right quick, or let me ask another question based on your answer.
Okay.
While this incident happened in Minneapolis, it's not. There has been riots, Atlanta, DC, mm-hmm. Denver, mm-hmm. Chicago, LA, all across the country based on this one incident. Burning mm-hmm. down these cities and burning down prominent areas in these cities. It got national attention. It also mm-hmm. caused a chain reaction as well. Mm-hmm. That caused millions of dollars of destruction. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And still, no one can say that tomorrow, next week, another person of color, male or female, will not die in police custody or by the hands of a peace officer. So that's why I asked that question.
I got an answer for that too. Not an answer, but a response. Not an answer because I don't have the answer for this. Right. But a response. Okay. So how many times were there peaceful protests that nothing happened? Or something happened, but those charges didn't stick. When it came to Trayvon Martin, didn't nobody burn anything down. They did protests all over, and it still came off. He wasn't even a police officer. He was a wannabe who got rejected because he was crazy and still got off for murdering Trayvon Martin. And he has cost the city millions and millions after then because he kept getting into trouble, kept going through domestic violence situations, kept threatening people, kept starting up stuff on the internet, and it come back to that white supremacy coming and trying to plan an attack on Black people because of him being in the group acting like he is spokesperson. There were a lot of things that happened off of that. So my thing is, when you have tried the other way and it never works, yes, this may not be the best way, but unless you have a better way that makes change right now seen, and then we go to the other level, what are you supposed to do?
But Lex, let me ask you this question. First off, let me say this one thing. Since you brought up George Zimmerman, who's to say if we protested and rioted the way they're doing now, it would have changed.
We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
But it's a different action than what has been taking place for a long time. I'm not saying that there were never riots. I'm not saying there were never.
Test made a good point. His father's a judge and his mom's a DA. So he has political power, and power within the law enforcement community was not as to reasons why it wouldn't have happened.
Who you talking about in Minneapolis? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I think she's saying George Zimmerman's father was a judge and his mom was a DNA. He would of his family.
Has he make that clear? Okay, so let's just go off of the George Zimmerman.
Right.
Okay, you said that who's to say something is going to change because we're doing more than just protesting. Now people are setting things on fire. They're becoming more violent. Well, in the Zimmerman case, they did it because if the spotlight was put on here like it is now, with his case, they would have been pressured that they had to do something. You heard 2 days ago that they were not going to even, were thinking about, it was leaning towards not even be able to charge because in
that's not what they said. See, the thing is, I want people to stop putting that. They never said that.
No. I listened to it myself. He didn't say he was not going to charge. What he said was No. If you listen to the whole thing, what he said was based off of the protocol of the police officers, he doesn't see a charge right now. He has to go through all the evidence, is what he said.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Okay,
let's go back.
But just like the mayor said, the main evidence was right there in front of you, was a video. Because even if he was resisting, he was held, he was subdued, he was no longer a threat, which we know he wasn't a threat because we saw the video before. But let's just go with that. He was never a threat then. So even with that evidence right there, you still didn't see charges. But the protests, the riots, all the craziness kept happening, and it put pressure on them to give him something. So what they do, they gave third-degree murder. Now that's not the outcome that we want. But if they hadn't even did anything but regular protest, do you think that would have been a charge?
Let me answer that question with a question and try to put this in.
Because listen, it's not an argument. We just going back and forth because I agree with both. I agree with you too on how you feel.
You know I don't argue over here, Lex. You know that's not what we do over here.
You gotta make sure because I got to attack it. I was like, God damn, I see where the food
I was told to shut up.
You was definitely attacked. They said, well, we know you from Little Rock. How many goddamn times you go? I was like, oh, God, like for real. They were going off in the
I'm okay though. I'm good. I got big shoulders. I can handle it. But I'm saying,
me too.
Let's talk about the protest was not. Let's go to the genesis of our first time as a country seeing police behaving badly on video cameras. Rodney King, they done burnt down Los Angeles. Did they not do that after that video came out?
They did.
All that protesting, all that protesting, everyone did, Tessie. Everyone did. Everyone attacked me over there. Pretty much.
Everybody, Tessie. Everybody. Well, let me just say this. People that have been in chat, I was like, y'all not going to just be quiet. You ain't got to agree with them, but y'all going to join in on it. And there's people, I've been in their chat, and then they were trying to tell me, that's not true. That's a straight up lie. You need to tell the truth. I'm like, I didn't say that, because when she made the comment, she was like, well, no, it wasn't burnt. It was rebuilt. I said, first of all, that was not true. When I said gangbanging in Little Rock, that's what people associated for the longest. I said it was hard to bring jobs there. Because, in the chat, they were listening to react instead of listening to comprehend, basically.
Exactly. They always do that. Back to things, back to Rodney King. When they burnt down Los Angeles, turned over, beat people, pull people out of their vehicle, pull white people out of their vehicles and beat their tail. If rioting and that type of reaction changes for the better, we wouldn't be here today. How long ago was Rodney King? Over 20 years ago, right? We wouldn't be doing the same things today if that action changed. Yes, it does change sometimes. Yes, it does change certain things. But those officers were acquitted, were they not? And they ride it again.
Yes, they were.
And they ride it.
Here's my thing. Have you? Because I haven't seen it, and I've been looking at a lot of footage. I have been keeping up. Have you seen somebody pull a white person in a car and attack them? Because to me, it's a different type of riding. It's a riding where people are trying to destroy things around them, but they're not attacking each other. They're united front with each other, even if they were sparked by somebody else who came in to just be a deflector, or just came in to be chaos. And then by them doing that, other people was looting, other people was setting buildings on fire. But through it all, I have not seen them turn on each other or be like, just because you pull up. And they've done that to police officers and black police officers. I've seen white and black just because they were police officers. But as far as just pulling a regular civilian out the car, I have never seen them do that.
Right. I mean, the thing is, my thing is that I'm saying, my thing is this: I'm okay with you being outraged. I'm okay with some property damage. I'm not one to say don't do something. I'm saying think about what you're doing, think about the consequences of what you're doing, and how is it going to affect us as a whole in the long run. That's when I say, because I think and people aren't hearing that. They're so in their feelings.
And that's why I say you got to be
that they're hearing me saying
you got to be
wrong.
Strategize on how you do it.
Exactly. Strategize on how you react and how you do it. Like you can do that. But hey, Michelle, baby, how you doing? I'm not ignoring you, sweetheart. But it's no one else in the chat. But I'm saying that, we have to think critically. We have to think outside of what we've already seen happen. And we've seen people burn down buildings. We've seen the looting. What we truly haven't seen is people take their dollars out of the economy. Because you want those.
Well, I just want to point this one thing out.
You want those high-end particles. That's why you're looting these high-end stores. You don't see people looting Value Village.
Okay, but can I point one thing out?
What's up, baby?
It's not so much is that, boo. I like to say it again. I like when you say it. But it's not. Let me stop for your husband. You're like, what? I'm just saying. But, okay. Well, I like that we're having this dialogue, but I want to point a major fact out. When it came to this situation, when they were riding down in Minneapolis and they moved to St. Paul, then they moved to the suburbs, to more influential, more money, typically white area. Okay. Every person was arrested was from out of town, except for the officer that started it. Right. Now, so when you're dealing with a situation where emotions, frustration, sick and tired of things happen. If you got somebody that is constantly breaking into the mall, you got so I'm when I say this, I'm going back to Atlanta, Minneapolis, just all these different situations, LA, Chicago, New York. I'm just going to name different things. You got cops that are running over people. Literally, they had a fence. I don't care if the cops are trying to get by. At the end of the day, that's illegal, because if there was something we did, we would be arrested. If you got people that are constantly inciting these things and making it turn left instead of keeping on the right path, there are going to be casualties. They're going not casualties, but casualties, but things that are destroyed. And I think a lot of things you have to be mindful of what you hear versus and what you see, because the media will show one little piece. Right. The media was saying this protest has turned violent, but what they won't show is the background images and video what I have seen of people completely covered in gas masks, umbrellas, and then before the 3rd precinct, if it got burned down, he took his ass in there to the 3rd precinct in Minneapolis. He's the same one that got on video breaking all this stuff, came with a chainsaw, came with all these other things. Right. So, although it may turn left, that was never the intent. Right. That was never where it started from.
And one thing that I want to do to piggyback on what you're saying here in Atlanta, because I talk about my city, because I live here, and I know how now things are very restricted now. Even me going to the store is restricted. But one thing is this: the protest that happened yesterday was not. There was a time for it to start, time for it to end. It was actually organized. And like I said previously in this broadcast that I'm doing right now, there were videos and things of people where there were strategically placed pallets of bricks.
Yes.
There.
Yeah, I was just saying, did you see that video? Yes.
Yeah.
And not only that, it was MAGA people.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, I got excited. But it was MAGA people, America Great people, saying that they were going down there to start destruction in every city, in every state that these protests are starting.
Exactly.
So we got to be mindful too. Although it leads to the left, it's not everybody that's trying to do that.
Right.
It's a bigger picture. And
that's what I want people.
But I'm gonna let you finish your thought.
I'm not saying that what is wrong. I'm saying that when there are people out there who goes to these peaceful protests and they're dressed in gas masks, they dress with Molotov cocktails, they are dressed with bats with nails and stuff in them, was not. So their mindset is, I'm going to go here and cause some trouble. I'm going to go here and cause some destruction. Yes. I'm not going here to rally and show support for this life that was lost. See, my thing is, I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying don't support and don't protest and don't speak out and don't cry out and don't fight for the lives that are lost and for inequalities. I'm speaking on the people who are purposely going to these events and these affairs trying to cause division, destruction, and deflection. They're purposely doing these things, and we need to understand that once we see that happening, and that's not our motives, we need to remove ourselves from that so we don't get caught up in that, and so people can actually see who's actually doing it.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Throwing Molotov cocktails and rocks and bricks and busting windows was not, regardless of what color you are, you then become part of the problem, because all I see is a bunch of people that's throwing rocks at me. I'm not pointing out the ones who are there saying, please stop. Remove yourself. Okay,
I have a question, Food Junkie.
Baby.
Okay, so do you think you get my nerves doing that? But you better stop. So do you think when the Boston Tea Party happened and they were setting things on fire, do you think that was because it caused change, it caused attention. Do you think that was an adequate way to address the situation?
The Boston Tea Party was that you was fighting against the monarchy overseas, trying to control how you do something over here. And the Boston Tea Party was.
Okay, but let's take it out. Let's take out the reason they still set things on fire.
I want people to understand that I understand what happened. So I want to give a little brief introduction to the history aspect of it, so I can give the answer. So yeah, it was about that one, and it was that you were sending money over there while the conditions over here was meager. That's what that was about. So they said, since you hold this product so cherished, because back in also people don't understand, back during that time, tea was worth more than gold.
Yeah.
So,
but still, it doesn't matter what it was worth, because a human life is worth more than gold.
See, look at you trying to distract and deflect the situation, baby. Look at you.
No, I'm not, boo. I'm not.
I'm saying, but all that goes back to economic power.
Yeah,
that's why I said that. So if this tea is worth more than gold to you, I'm going to destroy your economic power. So therefore, you don't have that over with that, and so therefore you're going to be so upset that you're going to want to sit down and talk to us about why and what's going on and what can be changed. So that's what all that happened. So why I do believe that that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't riot and don't destroy stuff, because it does affect change, because it gets their attention.
Right.
My point is the reasoning behind you're rioting and looting and causing destruction. And the people who...
Well, I think that's where we differ, because my point is when it comes to human life, that's I don't care if it can't do with monetary things or gold or anything like that. That's more important. Because I feel like, you know what I'm saying, a human life, now it's a reason why I'm asking you this, and I have a solution to this. Well, not a solution, but a proposition to this towards the end of this part of it. But what I'm saying is that's the reason why I'm asking that, because when it comes to that, you said my thing is the reason why. Regardless if it was gold, silver, minerals, anything, oil, but a human life, you know what I'm saying? Because a human life is completely different than, any of those things.
I hear what you're saying.
To me, I feel like we can destroy things,
but
it needs to be not Black owned, and it needs to be not something that's prominent in your direct community.
But Lex, what I'm saying,
you have to be organized for this.
Lex, this is what I'm saying right here. If you're destroying something, if the people who started destroying stuff was the ones that was aggrieved, I understand what you're saying. But the people who started destroying stuff were the ones who were not aggrieved, who came in strictly to cause trouble. And people who were aggrieved just went along with that aspect of it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's the why. If I just come in here.
Sometimes what you meant for my bad, God meant for my good.
That's fine.
So sometimes you can come in here because they did. They are the exact one. I see what you're saying. It's not our people that did it, it's them. And that's because we're used to doing peaceful protests, hoping there will be something different. They came in to change the narrative. And now that that's not working and it's becoming on a national platform, I'm not saying that it's not bad energy. I'm not saying that it's not something negative, but you came in to change the narrative. You came in to cause chaos, and what you wanted may not be the outcome of it. And we don't know what the outcome is going to be because we never had it on a national level where every state trickling down is going to eventually start doing it.
Mike Brown, there was riots in several states.
Yeah, it was, but I don't remember on a in-depth level like it is now. Like going to the White House, did they go to the White House to try to take over the Secret Service?
Yeah, they did that.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And there was nobody Black in that. That was all white people where I saw in that video.
Right. Exactly. Facts. But let's talk about life for a second, because you mentioned life. Okay. And all this craziness going on right now, whatever. You have children, sweetheart?
Yeah, I have a child.
Okay.
She's 5.
Let's just say you're out doing your daily thing, handling, living your life and running your business. Well, it's not. Mm-hmm. And you get caught up in this situation based on what George Floyd happened with him, and your child gets damaged and loses her life. Would you still have the same outlook as in it's necessary for them to do this because it causes change? So some violence is okay when your child was harmed in its violence?
Well, first of all, I'm going to speak against that because we're not going to speak there in the
No.
Well, I'm just playing. I know you're being. I'm just playing, Food Jug. I know you were being.
Yeah, because
I'm posing a serious question. So my thing is, I will be mortified. I will be outraged. It would be a problem. But I'm not. If there is a situation going on, I know. Let's say at my city on I-630, they're shut that down. I'm not going. Now you can fight if you want to, but I'm not going to work. I'm not putting her in that situation. Right. And I'm not saying anybody that happens to come upon because riots can turn left real quick. What I'm saying is that I would be upset. I'm not gonna lie and act like I don't love my child to the moon and back. She ain't that. She just told me yesterday, I know I'm the apple of your eye. You're damn right you are. That's what I wanted to say. I didn't tell her that, but damn right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to act like I'm not upset. But the same people that die by not just police, but racism, because, you know what I'm saying, they can't take it anymore because they're not making enough money. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of police brutality, but there's other things going on in America that attack us on a daily basis. And they give up and they kill themselves. I'm going to be the same way. I'm going to feel the same exact emotions. Okay. So I'm not excusing it, and I'm not making it making a reason for why it's going on. All I'm saying is, hell yeah, I'll be mad. I'll be pissed off. I'll be ready to go kill somebody myself, because at that point I have no reason to live. Just go and throw me into jail.
Right.
Understand? And go and give me my date so I can. If you want to put me to the death penalty, go and let me meet my daughter. I mean, and my mom, she passed the day after Christmas. So I mean, this past year. So I understand exactly what you were saying, but I also feel like there's a happy medium. And I wanted to say this when we got through with the questions. I'm gonna go ahead and say it real quick right now. If anybody has Instagram, I want you to go to Killer Mike's page from Atlanta and go down his timeline. And he has an actual video of how the protests move in Hong Kong.
He sure does.
It is strategized. It is purposeful. They're not letting anybody come in and cause havoc. They are making a statement, and they are fucking shit up at the same time. That tear gas that comes up here and disperses the crowd, they don't happen over there. They use cones and water and everything else to put that out. And what they don't do is they're smart about it. They don't stay in one area for a long time. They shut shit down, and when they got scanners, and when they know that the police are coming, they move. They move to another area. They said their slogan is like water, because water moves.
Move it.
And so you don't stay in place too long. You'll never be able to catch me. I can fuck up this whole city. I can fuck up federal buildings. I can fuck up other. I'm sorry. I've just been cussing. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna cash app you. I'm sorry. I can mess up other buildings. I can do a lot of other things, but I'm not messing up communities. But I can definitely mess up government owned, because at the end of the day,
that's my point. I was trying to get to people to understand was that move smartly. Do what you want to do. Do what you have to do, but do it strategically. Do it critically. Think about how you do it. Plan for it. If you go out there without a plan, you're going to plan to fail. And that's all I'm saying.
Come on, Phil Junkie. And I get you. But see, that was my point. I don't think it should just be a regular protest, even though we had outsiders from different states coming in trying to cause racist supremacy coming in. But now that y'all done that, it's made a statement. But y'all got to move smarter. It can't be just, just willy-nilly we going and doing whatever, because all they do is cause more chaos, and the purpose gets lost in it.
And on that point was not all help is good help. I don't want just any and everybody was not because you have a brick to throw. I want your brick thrown for me. No, because your brick may not be thrown for the same reason my brick is thrown. And people don't understand that. People think that, just like all money, not all money is good money. Things cost. Things cost your soul. Things cost your integrity. Things cost your life. Things cost your freedom. And if you don't think about those things while you're trying to go out there and protest and riot, whatever, you're lost already. And that's my whole point. As a people, things have not worked because we have been lost. We have been walking around in darkness, not just swinging at any and everything, whatever, hoping that something lands. The most powerful thing that you mentioned the most powerful thing about the Boston Tea Party is that it was an economic statement to England. Yes. And we need
and
to.
I think it's good that we have the July 7th thing, but why July 7th? That's during a weekday. And I'm not going to be a critical person, because I had this conversation with my homeboy, and he constantly had negative to say. I said, well, I protested years ago. You had something negative to say about that. Now they're doing things, blowing the cars and they're setting fires. And you had something negative to say about that, because it's gonna come down here to Arkansas. He was like, well, I'm not saying, but he could never give me an answer. I like that you can give me an answer. You're not saying you're 100% wrong. You got to be smart about it, and you got to make it hit where it actually affects them, because in their pockets is where it affects them. So July 7th is a good thing. They're going to miss a lot of money. But they not miss more money for July 4th. Could we not stock up on food and just chill? Because 4th of July ain't never been for us anyway.
Wait, hold up. Wouldn't they miss money on June 1st if you do it on June 1st? Why wait for a month?
Yeah.
Wouldn't they miss money on June 2nd, June 3rd, June 4th? How about supposed to do it a day? How about doing a week? Buy.
The reason why I thought about it was maybe that people gonna still be protesting and stuff and buying up fireworks to set stuff on fire. I don't know. I just thought like, okay, if you ain't doing it in July, it should not be July 7th.
But my thing is, if you're buying up fireworks with that, you're still putting money in the economy, regardless.
But they're also buying up fireworks too to set things on fire. A lot of stuff, like that third precinct, that precinct, the guy on fire, that came from fireworks.
But that's
and they added to it.
Go to a local growers. Exactly. Go to local growers with that. Go to farms. There's a lot of farms and stuff like that. My thing is that I love the fact that people want to do something like that. But at the same time, we're giving them
you got to make it impactful.
Right. We're making them We're letting them strategize for July 7th. We're helping them be prepared.
And you know what else, Jackie? On that post, if you look at that video, you research it. They don't put it out there on social media. Everybody knows somebody. Everybody knows somebody black. There's no reason why you can't go through your contact list. I don't care if this is one message. I don't care if I'm getting in a group text or get over and over again. Send it through the phones. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't put it out there on social media. They just pop up and all of a sudden it's a big swarm of people. I'm talking about hundreds and thousands of people. And why do we have to announce everything? Yeah, because what they're going to do is have good ass sales, and then people are not going to be able to resist it.
Exactly.
Because let's be honest, Black Americans are the number one buyers. Black sales are the number one. Then it's Black males. Let's be honest, we are number one buyers in America. Right. So to put it out there, understand. But see, this is something. I'm not gonna say something new like we ain't did it before, but this is something kind of like on a new level. So maybe because it's not going to stop with this one thing. Somebody else dies, we'll know better than put it on social media.
Didn't we do a blackout a couple of years ago as well? So what I'm saying, it doesn't work when you make people prepare with it, and you do it for one. Do it for a week. Do it for a month. Let's see. Look, the only true change is when we start sacrificing things that we are. Like I said, we would go broke to buy that new purse. Or we'll go broke to buy the Jordans. We'll go broke to buy that new iPhone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have to start producing our own stuff, like Tessie said. We have to start producing our own stuff. We need to start being able to look at, okay, what's your talents? Oh, you're good at this. Let me see if I can work with you to create XYZ. I have the money, but I don't have the talent. Let me work with you and stop trying to F you over in the deal process was not, and let's start getting these things together was not. Oh, you have an idea about how to do agriculture or farming. Let's buy some land. Let me work with you was not, and see if we can do our own co-op so we can rent to other people like-minded like us, look like us was not, and we can all grow different things. You're good at doing.
I'm gonna tell you this. Those are long-term solutions, and right now we're doing short-term solutions, but it cannot be a short-term solution without a long-term solution. So what you're saying is exactly right. You are somebody that is excellent, and you are so creative in making clothes. We came together and supported you and bought you a whole bunch of fabric. That'll bring your prices down. Just for random clothes, regular clothes. When I say random, I mean regular clothes, not no waste stuff. And then it can go to you. I'm serious though. Like, that's what we get. The mindset you were talking about is exactly right. We got to get into being able to barter what we can and pay for what we can, and put it back into our own business, because now it's more Black people. When we did that and it was Black, I don't want to go into the whole Black Wall Street because some people feel like it was never a Wall Street, but when it was the Black community and they bombed us because we were prominent and doing good. I mean, if that had been the way everybody thought, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that will shut everything down. They won't have the power because we can take the power away unless we take the money away, because that's what matters.
Let's speak on Black Wall Street for a second. Think about it. When they burnt down Rosewood, when they burnt down Black Wall Street, how did we rebuild? We didn't. So
no, we did. I was just gonna say I missed that lesson because I don't know the rebuild. No, we did.
So let's think about why we burned down neighborhoods was not. Do you think they're going to rebuild? See, we got to start thinking about stuff like that as well.
I said that, and I got cut off. Ronnie kept hollering at me. I said that in Dutch is live.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back, Tessie, baby.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Tessie.
Hey.
Hey, intelligent doctor.
Hey, I want
wanted to also bring up co-ops because that's something that is not really discussed among Black media that I've seen. And I definitely think that's something that we as a Black community need to look at. We need to implement ASAP. Okay?
Can I tell you something real quick, Tessie?
Yes.
I have heard about it in my life. Not all life, but the majority of my life, I know what it represents, but I don't really even understand what that actually is. And there may be somebody else out there that doesn't understand. So can you break it down before you go into? Because I know it's something that we need, and I hear how people talk about it, but I don't really understand how it all works.
Okay. I'm gonna break it down. Okay. To the simplest terms, and then if you don't understand, you just ask me, okay? Because I have done farming myself, okay? So, what a co-op is in terms of farming, okay? And major grocery chains, I can tell you what happens. Let's say XYZ company grows strawberries, okay? And then DEF company grows potatoes. And then AIJ, they grow tomatoes. Okay. What
Black
is they come together and they agree not to compete against one another in the market. Okay. They form a co-op. And then, so that means grower HIJ or whatever I say is not going to be growing what ABC grows. Okay. So they're not going to compete against one another on the
competition. Yeah.
Okay. So what they do is they form a group, a conglomerate, a co-op. Okay. And then that co-op
kind of like a union
goes to the company and says, we are a group. Okay. We are to sell our produce to you
as a group
for a price. Okay. And that same chain can say, okay, then there's this other co-op, okay, where you have another strawberry grower, another tomato grower, and another potato grower. They form a co-op as well. Okay. So what happens is you got co-ops that have contracts with major chains. So that way everybody gets a piece of the pie.
Right.
Everybody
gets a piece of the pie. So what that means is, and there was a big farmers lawsuit and the black farmers lawsuit, and the black farmers actually won, but in terms of dollars and cents, for many of them, it didn't add up to a lot of dollars and cents. A lot of dollars and cents for the lawyers, but not necessarily a lot of dollars and cents for the farmers, okay? So we still have black farmers out here that struggle, okay? But we still have some that are doing very well. So what we have to do is we have to bring back co-oping with each other. Let's say one person does well in shoes, one person makes handbags, one person makes whatever, jewelry. Form a group, and then you can go to a major chain or whatever chain and go in and get a contract. That way everybody gets a bite at the apple. Well, some people may say, oh, well, that's against capitalism, but guess what? That's all just talk for the television, guys. That anti-capitalism stuff is only talk because they're all doing it.
Exactly.
All rich people that you see are having co-ops with each other, regardless to what business they have.
And they're monopolizing the system.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said they're monopolizing the system. You got one company that's known for this one product, but they make every other product, so many other products, we buy and you don't know about it till you research it. And they're the main person that makes it. They're the main one that gets the contract.
No. That's not what's going on. That's not what's going on. That's what's being told to you on the television.
Right.
Okay. When you go to Walmart, okay, I'm going to take something real simple like Walmart. You see all kinds of TVs sold at Walmart. You see Sony, you see Vizio, you see whatever, Samsung. These people competing within the market, okay, against each other, but they have also formed co-ops with other companies that don't make what they make.
Right.
You understand? Whereas you'll see a Samsung TV, Samsung phone, you know what I'm saying? But something that Samsung doesn't make
is cotton mill tissue.
Other company, you see what I'm saying? To put it forth a beat. That's that's how that works. You see what I'm saying? That way, when you pull your together, you can go in and compete with these other large producers. That's really how it's working. But the TV kind of confounds it all, and it makes it sound like a monopoly, and it's really, really not. That's really not how companies are becoming, like, getting massive fortunes. That's really not what they are co-oping with each other for goods and services. Makes sense?
Okay. Yes, absolutely does. Now that you broke that down, thank you.
Okay, so you got any questions, Food Junkie? I know you know all about it.
No, what I mean, to piggyback on what you're saying is that having a co-op is basically when people decide to cooperate with each other in order to help the whole. So like you said about the tomatoes, peanuts, and whatever else products you did, when you do that as a farmer your power, the more people you have in that cooperative the more power you have to go to these larger companies and larger institutions to get these contracts, because it makes more sense as a business aspect and a business mind. If I can go to one particular source to get the majority of my needs, I don't have to worry about making sure that 18 different people have what I need. I know that one person or that one cooperative have the 18 different products that I need. So I'm willing to work more so with you than I am willing to work with someone or a variety of different people, because no one wants to talk to 18 different sources. You rather go to one source.
You don't have to have your people go to every single source.
Exactly.
So for every single thing. So what you do is you form a co-op, where you agree not to make what the other one is making, but formed a mega group.
Exactly. Specializing at one thing that you're good at. Specialize in making sure that you have the biggest, brightest, reddest, juiciest tomatoes. They have the sweetest, freshest, crispiest corn. They have the leafiest, greenest, biggest.
I have another question. I have another question. Okay, so Tessie, you're talking about farming, because that's one thing that cannot be overseas. Shipped for cheaper. Are there co-ops that they do in China and they pitch it to the U.S. America and say, "Hey, this is what we offer," and then we buy it there? Or what? Is that why you're saying farming predominantly?
China have to co-op. China steals our ideas. They don't respect U.S. trademark.
Yeah.
They don't respect it because they're not made to respect it. And the reason why they're not made to respect it is because one of the main senators that's in your United States Senate is married to a person that's from there, and her family are major exporters and exporters importers to this country.
The main people that are screaming and yelling about not doing certain things and for other countries, not having other resources in other countries, they get the majority of their products made, and their imported from those countries. Think about what Trump is doing when he was trying to say less China was not. His daughter is all of her clothes is made in China. All of his design, his ties are made in China.
His are made in China as well.
Campaign stuff, yeah.
Right.
So be very careful.
Okay, if we have more co-ops that they cannot resist because it's going to cost less, then they'll have to use us versus constantly going over to China.
Right.
The thing is also not only that thing is you have to think about it's also about economics. You can have lower wages over in these third world countries who is desperate and where the dollar goes a long way. Over here, there are certain laws and regulations in place to ensure that the labor laws are not broken and that people are getting paid properly. So
I know about that, Junkie, but my thing is, so if we do co-ops, it has to be on a mass scale, right? Or we need to get on board to where a lot of people are doing it to make it more beneficial for America. Because if it's not, they're going to keep going overseas.
Start small.
Right?
Start small. Big. That's how they get big. Yeah. Is that they become bigger co-ops. You see what I'm saying? Where they can offer more cheaper prices.
Adding people to the group. Yeah.
Because right. It's not always about quantity. It's about quality of services. If your quality of your service is good and the quality of your product is good, you can have 2 or 3 people in a co-op and y'all can rule the world.
Exactly. And so it's just a real small. I mean, I don't know how many people we have in chat. I'm not even looking at it. I'm just trying to throw some ideas out there with some possible solutions. Like I see a lot of screaming, a lot of hollering, and all these different stuff. But there are some tangible things, and I'm trying to give you guys some ideas of some tangible things that can be done, that are doable, that are being done right now.
Right.
Say for instance, Food Junkie, I think you were talking about the quality aspect. And you come together and you get a contract from a major corporation, okay, that then allows you to go to other corporations to get their business as well. So when there's strength in numbers, you want that quality, and as you get that quality, then your quantity can then
grow.
You see what I'm saying? So, and that's why I was telling you guys, like, you know, the terms are being thrown out here like, monopoly and stuff like that. That is really not how things are working in the United States. Another way to change, and we just barely touched the surface on the edge, so I'm gonna go straight into it, and that's our double-sided way we deal with China. Okay, the politicians not being honest about what is going on with China. Okay, they say one thing, but another thing happens. The fact that China is not being penalized, okay, financially for not respecting American patents and trademarks is highway robbery.
Losing billions and trillions of dollars to that. Losing trillions of dollars to that.
So when we have a trademark, they go and just take it, and they're allowed to sell it back to Americans.
They are selling it to their own people. They are taking an American product, okay, reproducing it and giving it another name and selling it to their own people and blocking out the American product being able to compete in the Chinese market, which we know they have billions of people.
Right.
That right is highway robbery, and it has ripped off billions of dollars from American corporations. But they want to blame it on, well, it's the company is greedy. Oh, well, it's the workers. They want too much money. No, that's not what it is. What it is that they are not making China respect American patents and trademarks. Period. And it's costing us trillions of dollars.
Tessie, let me piggyback on what you're saying. Let me just kind of based on, like, people think that I just talk just to be talking. That's why I'm so big on people understanding the terms that they use, how they're using them, understanding the context and when they're using certain words. Because if you don't understand the context and how you're speaking and what you're saying, things get jumbled and lost in translation.
Right.
So when people use,
there are certain people that think that way, because it's definitely not me.
No,
I respect even if we have a different voice of opinion. I get what you're saying. People don't understand where you're coming from.
Monopoly. Like how Tessie broke down what the monopoly actually is, opposed to what the government and what the media is trying to make you believe it is. Understanding the concept and content of a word, understanding how things are broken down monolithically was not, meaning of one. People don't understand, understanding, breaking things down, understand the Latin aspect of a word, how to break down a word to truly get the true meaning of it by looking at the original aspect of what these certain phrases and syllables and terms in these words that make up these larger words, how that comes together to make that word be more feasible and tangible and understandable. Those type of things that I want people to understand, like that. I know I have a speech impediment. I know I speak too fast. I sometimes stumble over my words, but that doesn't mean that I'm not extremely intelligent and I can comprehend and understand the content and how I see it and or read it. So I want people to truly be able to break things down and be willing to do the research to get a greater understanding. And when you do listen to something, listen for understanding and clarity, opposed to listen to what you want to say next to combat what is being said to you that you may not agree with.
Correct.
Here she go.
Okay, so do you have any other long-term are you talking about me?
No, a view just came
talking about view.
Hey, be quiet. Go ahead.
I just saw her. Thank you.
Be quiet, y'all. Hey, baby, I'm gonna be quiet. Let me see. I'm getting some flow. Let me be quiet. Hold on.
No, it's just no. Go ahead. I like picking Tessie's brain because I just feel like she needs a channel. Like she's very intelligent. And she's a very good teacher. So that's all. You go ahead, View. I just asked later, or we may not even get to that. Go ahead. Whatever you had to say.
Well, first of all,
hey, babe, how you doing? I can barely hear you, dog. I can barely hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, yes. I might have to plug my mic in, but I've got my face all the way up in my laptop, like I'm giving head to my laptop.
Stop it, see.
I don't know what the conversation is about, but I just heard the last couple of sentences.
You're going in and out of you. Maybe you have to unplug in your laptop, baby, because you're going in and out.
Okay, yeah, I can't go ahead. I'm just gonna be quiet and I'm gonna plug in my the mic and I'll be right back. But I'll just sit right here though. Okay.
No problem, baby. Yeah, but I want people to like that. When we ask what can be done based on what's going on and how we're being treated in this country, it really boils down to economic power. Stressing and expressing your economic power, making sure that you understand that you do have some power, you do have a privilege, recognizing it, understanding it, and putting that privilege and power forward so they can understand that I know who I am.
Absolutely.
I know how I can affect this economy not if I choose to withdraw from it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all we're doing is just giving some suggestions, and I try my best to bring things to them so that people can kind of understand where I'm coming from. So I'm hoping that, my ideas, maybe somebody might implement them or something like that, or, you guys tell me what you think.
My mind already turning, Tessie.
Okay.
Already turning. Because I was working on the business, so I'm like, oh, now that I understand exactly what a co-op is, because I know other people that have other businesses, so
right. And
thank you for that, because I'm already.
A co-op could be done not only with product, but also with services.
Correct.
So we need to start thinking outside of just product itself, but also think about you can combine a co-op. A co-op could be with products and services.
Correct.
So making sure that.
Okay, so explain, Jesse.
Say again.
Explain to.
Okay.
I just explain, like an example.
Let me explain it to you, because Tessie ain't the only one who got some knowledge on this panel.
I know, boo, baby. I already know.
Well, I mean, just say that if you are someone who makes TVs and someone is a good engineer who can not only install TVs, you can have an installer of a TV, you can have the creator of a TV, and you can have the mechanic of a TV who fixes these things. Those three people can create a co-op, and they can go to Best Buy, for example, and be like, okay, Best Buy, this is TV brand ABC that we make. This is how all the functions and qualities of it was not. But also, I know you guys have your own geek service squad, but if you get these TVs in place was not, let my engineer show you how to install this to get the best product of the thing, and y'all work with them. And also the people who fix the TVs was not, I know you guys have your own business plans, was not that repair stuff. Let me show you how this person who specializes in our TVs knows how to fix these specific TVs. So when you
you win the prize, you win the prize.
You know I know, boo. I just act like this. I just look like this.
Can you all hear me now better?
Much better, baby. Much better.
Okay. I think what you're describing is what we used to do years ago, and it's called the barter system. BARTER. I might have
it's all within the same RAM, but it's different names.
It's different names. It's the same thing. It's different names.
So is it individual companies?
No, but the major difference between a barter system and a co-op is a barter system is that if I give you one potato, you give me one egg from your chicken. Mm-hmm. That's the difference between a barter system and a co-op. A co-op is
I love co-ops.
We made a collective decision to work together within this compound where we won't what's the word?
Compete with each other.
Yeah. So that's what the difference, one of the major differences between a co-op and a barter system is. A co-op is that a group of people who have different services and different products will not come together and agree not to compete with one another and work together to get their products and services within a certain RAM. A barter system is that it's a group of people who work within this same group who trade services and products in order to meet their needs. That's the difference.
That's the difference. Correct.
Yeah. I agree. I've got some of my years ago, I used to get some of my best fruits and vegetables and also business advice from co-ops. And within the communities that I lived in, I can't name where it was or where whatever I got or whatever. And then I also was a part of a barter system and also a co-op. I think these times right now we are in, we probably need to go back to this.
Well, actually, a view, it has never stopped. Okay, in the majority community, it has been taken to a whole other level that is not being, I guess, discussed in mainstream. In our communities as a whole, because we let it die, but it has thrived in corporate America. Right, it's thriving.
Yes,
as we speak.
And with that, we need to truly understand and comprehend what is being said, because like nothing that we're saying is new. Nothing that Tessie said is new. Nothing that I'm saying is new. Nothing that you're saying is new. It's always been there with that. It's always there. It's up to us to do the research and understand what is being done, what is happening with that. How do successful people stay successful?
They have to always reinvent and learn.
Exactly. They do the same thing. It's the same concept and the same goal, but they do it differently. They present it differently. They put it in different packaging.
Right.
So once we understand that concept was not, because there's nothing new under the sun. There's something that's new every once in a while was that, but all it is a tweaking and a variation of what was done previously.
Exactly.
So once we understand that concept was not, we will start growing into people that, like I said, like when we think of Black Wall Street or Rosewood and all these thriving Black communities of yesteryear, we still have Black thriving communities right now. We have less because a lot of us choose to go elsewhere and outside of that to find that instant success. But once they burned down Black Wall Street, once they burned down Rosewood, did people even try to reinvent it, or did they say all they're going to do is burn it down again? So that's why I still asked the original
We're
question.
afraid that we're going to get burned down again.
Exactly. That's why I asked the original question. Does burning something down really help for the better? Even if it's ours, or if
it depends on if you are singled out. I think it depends on the magnitude. Just from how I see things.
No,
if it's just one,
that's a great observation. It's about the magnitude of it and the trauma.
Right, because with Central in Little Rock, like in Arkansas, look, when the school to do desegregation, it was because they were getting pressure from other states. It wasn't because Arkansas felt that way. They were fighting against it tooth and every step of the way, but it was because other states were pressuring to change.
Right.
So that's why I said it depends on the magnitude.
Right. And same thing with slavery. The South didn't give up slavery because they didn't want it to happen, because they thought it was, okay, let's give these people their rights and their freedoms. It was because businesses up north, like Tessie, I think Tessie said this earlier, was not, when the agricultural aspect of the South was starting to lose money due to the industrial aspect of the country and the way the country was moving, that pressured them to change the laws about slavery.
Exactly. The cotton picker was no longer the most productive thing on the market.
Exactly.
The cotton gin became the most productive thing on the market.
And then the patent of that was stolen from a black man. Like a lot of things, like a lot of inventions in this country, such as the traffic light, such as refrigeration.
I was going to say the traffic light. Oh my God. Fuel Junkie, you and I are on the same page. I was going to say, people don't even understand that the traffic light was invented by a black man.
People don't understand that the cell phone was invented by a black woman. People don't understand that the operating system of a computer was also invented by a black person. There's the brain surgery, heart surgery, all the household things such as washing machines, dryers, refrigeration, irons. Those things were the household things because we invented those things out of necessity.
Correct.
We didn't own the patents to those things. So therefore, that's why, because they stole it from us, was not. The white
and that's my example.
Go ahead.
And I didn't mean to cut you off, Food Junkie. I'm sorry. That goes back to my example earlier. When I got stopped when I was younger, I didn't know the laws like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. So if you don't know, ignorance can allow, or somebody oppressing you can allow them to constantly get power and have power over a whole community, over a whole race. Because I didn't know those laws. And just like you said, all those things were invented, but I'm not trying to discredit them, but they may not have known how to get because they were slaves or they were just coming out of slavery, they may not have known, or they were black, may not have known, and they weren't represented in a way they should have been, how to get their credit out there. We have to learn this through our ancestors. We have to learn this through people that we know. I know all of these things, but I didn't want this in the textbook.
And listen to this. The fact that we were denied the access to education, okay, is the main way that things were stolen that we actually had obtained. Right. For example, you can actually go back, and if you care to look at some deeds from maybe the 1700s, okay, they would probably discuss, beginning at an oak tree owned by J.O. Butts, going at an angle to that many miles, and so on and so forth. Now, who could read that? What African American in the South would be able to understand it? And surveyor language. Most people in America right now don't understand surveyor language when they look at a deed. They just know it says on the top deed, right? So can you imagine somebody going up to somebody just free from slavery saying, John Boy and Sally, bring Bessie Mae and what's your other children over here to my office Billy Bob over there. He wanna just get like a corner over there. And all the while they say, yeah, well, he gonna pay y'all right good $10 for that corn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we know you was a good man and you gonna take care of $10. Oh, that's good. That's good. Right. They go them and the kids and sign a deed, not knowing children couldn't sign deeds because they were underage. Okay, it's legal. Okay. So that take care of the heirs and the people.
Exactly.
Made it sound real good.
Here's the trick. The deed doesn't describe just a corner, just a little corner.
Right.
The deed itself describes the whole piece of land.
Right, the entire property.
Mm-hmm. People they were deprived of education, so they signed it away their rights ignorantly. Right. This is how thousands upon thousands of acres in the United States were stolen from African America. Listen to folks, it wasn't because we ain't have nothing.
Right.
Yes, I know.
And not only was it denied us education, it was illegal. Think about it. It was illegal if you was caught reading. It was illegal if you was caught and understanding. You were beaten and killed and jailed for just the simple fact that you can read, that you can speak articulately, that you can read and comprehend what you're reading. That's what it is. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is the main cause of us not having what is rightfully ours.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm explaining. Exactly. And that's why I'm explaining to you what I'm explaining to you now.
Right.
A lot of our ancestors were robbed like a stick up without a gun, like a hold up without a knife, because of the denial of education created the robbing of our people. So now we have to work. We have to work, people. Not burn, not pillage. We have to work to gain the knowledge.
That's what I was saying. Think intelligently, think critically, think outside of what you know. You saying, well, sometimes it just get attention. Okay, that's fine. Get attention that way, that's fine. But once you got that attention, what you're going to do with it?
Right. But I'm not disagreeing with that. Once you got the attention, it has to be another plan. It has to be something else that follows that. It can't just be burned down and that's it. And I think that the newer generation, they when you go through every generation, you have newer things that they can't identify, but they've heard. It's like co-ops. I have heard that, but I never knew what it was because I never purposely was like, oh, let me go to a co-op. I've always grew up, let me go to the grocery store. You understand? I didn't know what that was. So the same way with the new generation. But the new generation don't know the fear because as time has went on, less and less was passed down of well, you know, this is what's gonna happen to you because you go to a center, you go do this, and they gonna have the dogs or the hoes, they're gonna do this and that. What they see is, I'm cool with this white person. I'm cool with this white person. I got young cousins that don't understand. So I'm like, just give it some time because you, baby, you're black. Just give it some time. But they don't understand it because they've never experienced it. You know what I'm saying? On that level. So I understand the newer generation is more passionate and this is all that they know how to do because they're so frustrated and they're passionate about it. And not saying that the older generation is not passionate about it. It's just that the older generation has seen different things, have been through different things. But once you go through that, you have to have a plan to get there. And so I'm glad that Tessie came on and I'm glad that Food Junkie, you were getting ideas because I'm not disagreeing that this is not just the sole answer. My thing is, let's come up with ideas. Let's put things out there. Let's talk to people that have the knowledge to direct us in the right path. Now that I know what a co-op is, and I know that it never disappeared, I just didn't know what I was buying into, or like I go to the grocery store, I'm buying into this, or I'm buying into that. When I go to the farmer's market in my city and state, that's a co-op. It's not a grocery store. When I go to a farmer's market, you only see one or two people that's selling tomatoes. You only see one person selling cucumbers. You only see one person. I always wonder, like, why when I go there? You know what I'm saying? It's not like how it is in the grocery store. You know,
yes,
so
just explain to you.
I mean,
It's just your scale.
It is.
Right.
It is. That's what I'm saying. It's on a different scale. That's what I mean. So,
Right.
so now that I understand it, it's understanding. Ignorance can keep a lot of people in the dark. I was ignorant to what a co-op was, even though I've heard it all my life. I don't know why I never thought to say, "Can you explain what a co-op is?" I just every time I would hear the grown-ups talk about it, or every time when even after I got grown, I was like, "Yeah, we do a co-op." Girl, you don't know what the hell a co-op is. So you know what I'm saying? Like you don't. I mean, you know that it's something good, and you know that it benefits the community. It's not a sharecropping thing that a lot of people from my came from, but you don't even know what a co-op is. And so now that I know that, so my thing is, I'm not. I've never disputed it, and I'm glad that we're having this talk because you have to have a plan, and the things you can put out there to the youth, you can put out there to the people that are protesting because burning down things can't be the only answer. Huh? What you say, Tessie?
Multiply, girl.
Miss Tessie.
What you say?
Miss Tessie Clemens, you've been around the YouTube a lot. I'm gonna tell you now, and I hope I'm not offending you. I always thought you were an old white lady.
Really?
No, I thought she was a young black girl.
Mr. Chris.
She did like a dollar. I was like, "Girl, you are so. You look so young and beautiful."
Gorgeous. She's gorgeous. I always thought you were an old white lady. You would always come into my lives and chat and stuff, and you would always be so polite and on point and everything. And so I'm looking at this beautiful photo of you. I didn't know that you were black, first of all, and beautiful. I thought you was an old crackerhead white lady. I sure did.
No, that's my baby girl.
That's the daughter, baby. That's the daughter.
I apologize. I didn't mean to. I just had to say that.
No problem. Also, getting back to point, I'm getting back on point. A lot of people don't like that. Once, like, I'm really big on knowing what you're talking about, knowing your history, knowing different things, being able to seamlessly go from conversation to conversation was not. Like I said, a lot of people don't understand that. People think that here in America, Ford is the number one car, number one automotive, and get the credit for being the first car company in America. People don't understand that that's not true. Tyson was a black man that was friends with Ford. That Ford stole the idea of manufacturing cars from. No one knows that aspect. People don't understand that fact. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of things that we do, and I hate when I hear people say, "Well, we don't own anything here." That may be technically correct, but it doesn't mean that we didn't invent and come up with ideas in this country that propelled this country forward during the Industrial Revolution. Because a lot of our ideas that we had, a lot of ideas that we've done has moved not only this country but the world forward.
Right. And let me just give you guys an example. For example, electricity was invented by a black man. It's just that Thomas Edison had the funding for that. However,
the filament in the bulb was invented by a black man. You're absolutely right about that.
Right. The power system that we use today did not come from America. It came from Nikola Tesla. Okay, the DC current. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people give credit to Thomas Edison.
Say it again, Tessie. Tessie, can you say it again? I know the part where say the last part of what you said.
The power system that we use today to power our houses with AC DC current actually was developed by Nikola Tesla, not Edison.
Yeah, the power grid in which we all power everything across these countries and states was invented by Tesla. You're absolutely right about that. And it was a big war of which one was going to come out with their grid first.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And, just so happened, Edison won that race on thing, although it was invented by Tesla.
Correct.
See, I'm saying,
but electricity is still invented by a black man.
Well, the filament in which the electrical current was being able to be retained and withheld was invented by a black man. The filament, that's the little thing, the little filament inside the light bulbs was that was invented by a black man. Was that? But Edison actually did invent a way to capture the light from it into a bulb type form. So, like, there's a lot of different things that we need to know. Like I said, there's so much more than just what's right there in front of us, what's not. If we take a little bit of time to do some research, that's why y'all saw that I said on my community feed, the last post I did was that just listen to people what's not and do your own research on it. Then, and before you are so quick to deny and deflect and cuss out and yell and scream, take a moment to step back out of yourself and listen to what is being said for understanding and clarity, so you can do your own research to make sure
that food junkie
you're not wrong.
Because they wrote you in chat about rights, and because you couldn't remember the exact date, they acted a fool. And then you went back and put it on your community. I was like, you better go, food junkie. You put it on your community and you listed the extra date during the same time as the civil rights. And nobody was like, well, I don't know. I hadn't watched Duchess since, well, I watched one of his things, but it wasn't about what we were talking about before. I was like, you better go, food junkie. You prove just because you couldn't remember the exact date, they acted a fool with you.
And my thing is this right here. People who can recite dates like this was not, that don't mean you're smart. That means that you have one piece of knowledge that you're willing to stretch out to prove a point, be it you're right or be it you're wrong. I'm the type of person who was not, my intelligence lies much more deeper than me being able to recite dates. I have the intelligence and mindset to be able to research, understand what I researched was not, and be able to comprehend it and teach it back to people was not. That's what my intelligence lies.
Yes.
Food junkie.
What's up, baby?
Are you a Morehouse man?
You know I am, baby. What?
Right there. First of all, I need to see some of these other people and their education and their knowledge and things. This is a Morehouse man, food junkie is. And the reason why I jumped on here, because I don't want anybody saying anything bad about food junkie. Okay, first of all, and if somebody gonna say anything about your speech impediment, I hear everything you say. I understand you clearly, and they do too. They're just mad. They're angry. Where their degrees at? Huh? I'm a project of a black college, college degree from a black college, and so where are theirs? But I need to see some high school diplomas from some of these motherfuckers out here. I'm sorry, people on the YouTube. I here got all this motherfucking shit to talk about. I'm sorry. I apologize. I can't stop cussing. But what they all here talking about people like this and doing whatever. This is a Morehouse man graduate. Okay. Some of y'all need to Google what that means to be a Morehouse man. Everybody couldn't sign up to be a Morehouse man. Okay. And he's a graduate.
And let me correct it. I'm not a graduate of Morehouse, but I did go to Morehouse, but I am a graduate of college with a 3.97 GPA. And they was upset when I kept mentioning that was not, why would someone do that? Because I can. Because I did. Why are you not able to mention that you have a college degree and what your GPA was?
Because they can't. They can't even say what their high school
graduated with a 3.97 GPA from college, and I was accepted to Morehouse. Not only was I accepted to Morehouse, I was also accepted to NYU. I was accepted to Emory University. I was
preach.
Xavier University was that. I chose out of 7 colleges which college to go to. Columbia as well. Don't play with me. I know who I am.
Go ahead. How many you say, food junkie?
I was accepted to 7 prestigious universities. I chose Morehouse.
7.
They didn't even finish high school.
And want to get mad because I choose to talk about what degrees I have. Well, actually, what I graduated with. Yes, I graduated summa cum laude. I did. What's the problem? I walked around with 3 ropes around my neck when I walked and got my college degree. Why are you upset about that? I'm proud of that. That's an accomplishment, especially from a black man from an impoverished neighborhood who grew up pretty much in poverty his entire life.
Amen.
So why wouldn't I talk about it? Why wouldn't I promote that?
Nobody can never take that away from you.
Exactly. You want me, and not only that, and the fact that I am reasonably attractive, reasonably intelligent, reasonably talented was not. Yes, I'm proud of who I am.
Go ahead, food junkie.
I'm just saying, they want to beat you down for you knowing who you are, for you standing true in what you know. Like I said, I don't have to recite a date on cue. I'm not a circus animal. I'm not a one-trick pony. Was not. I can understand what I'm saying, whatever. And like I said, I could have pulled up in the past 200 plus years over 100 different riots that happened in this country based on race-related and race issues. be it white and black, be it black and brown, be it white and brown, be it whatever the case may be with that. There has been numerous riots in this country based on race-related issues. So for someone to ask me when it happened was not, just like someone wrote in the chat, I forgot who it was, they said that their parents was on the 1968 riots in Miami, Florida. There's been riots all across the country. In Cincinnati, there's been riots all across the country during during the civil rights movement. So just you understand and comprehend what you know, don't denigrate or try to diminish what the accomplishments or the information that someone else knows. Add that to your knowledge so you can grow and have a better conversation. And you don't have to be angry about it. Like I said, I wasn't even angry about it. Even when I hung up abruptly was not. I did that because I had to get ready for work. And I realized that I won't be able to articulate correctly for anyone to be satisfied. So why?
Well, I just gave up because they wasn't here. Because once you're constantly getting attacked and it's constantly just, nobody's trying to listen. And I understand emotions high. It's just like, let me just go on about my business. And I understand. We didn't even see you in the chat anymore. And I was like, I get it, Food Junkie. But now I know you had to get ready for work. But see, like, they were really, really attacking you. And it's like, God damn, you attacking his whole character because he's trying to get you to see a different point of view. You can't say my view may not, this is my opinion. That doesn't mean that you were right. That doesn't mean that the other person was wrong. But we need to come to a medium understanding. And that was before the riot even started in Atlanta. That was
right, exactly.
So you were speaking on something.
Right. I told you my ESPN be working. I don't know why I be saying stuff sometimes. My ESPN be working. And
where was this chat? I'm sorry. Where was this chat going on where people were attacking you, Food Junkie?
Duchess Kelly Love it was Duchess Kelly Love live. Was it the day before yesterday or yesterday, something like that?
Okay, I'm going to research that.
It was the day before yesterday.
And my thing is, I'm not even mad at anyone for having their opinion. Was not. My thing is this, and also y'all notice that there was a mass exodus from my channel as well. A lot of people unsubscribed. I'm like, okay, I'm good with that because if you're not here to listen and to information was not, and you're so offended by one aspect of it, oh well, you don't belong here. And my thing is this: what I said is true. It's still, regardless if you're mad about what I said or not, it's still true. It doesn't change the fact that this person has lost his life. You rioting and you're being mad does not change the fact that this person lost his life. And why does your anger have to affect me?
Right.
Well, my point was I never even got to say it because I was, steered a different way because okay, you said I had one thing wrong. Okay, I may not have had where the LA riots, after the LA riots, they rebuild right away. And from what I knew, and you're right, I didn't live in California, I live in LA, but from what I knew, it didn't happen right away. Okay, but you said happen right away. My whole point was you have to have I didn't even get to say this part like I did on your channel. You have to have a plan after then. I'm not saying they're wrong for writing. What I wish that we did, it would be a planned, organized thing. You have to be careful, and that's why I shouted out Killer Mike. Go to his Instagram page, and he has a video they're doing in Hong Kong, and it's a totally different reason. There's China's trying to take. It's a whole different reason about why they're doing that, but that doesn't take away from the person or the planning that you can do. Yes, exactly. And I didn't even get to say that because they literally, I had already watched it. And then, I reached it more after I saw Killer Mike video. I was like, okay, I was on the right track. You know what I'm saying? Because he put it out there. Like when we protest and riot in America, I don't think that I have been a person that protests. I've never looted, I've never stolen anything, I've never broken a glass or anything like that. But I've seen things get out of hand, and I've also been there to help for a bail. I've also been there to help bail somebody out that got arrested from that. I understand, especially when it comes to our black men. Mm-hmm. We get looked around a lot of times. Females, our black men, a lot of times are targeted. I get it, but my thing is, what we gonna do after this? I'm not saying you wrong. And then they wouldn't even listen to me. And then like you were on there, it was taking minutes. It was a lot of people talking about, get the hell out, you dumb, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, it was just crazy in the chat. And I get it, emotions were high. I get it. But at the end of the day, like you proposed it to me, and we were playing, I was playing the advocate or whatever, devil's advocate. Okay, like you told me, if that was my child, how would I feel if I went down there to a riot? So, and then something happened and she got hurt, or I was on my way to work. You know what I'm saying? Something, because I would never bring my child down to it, but something happened. I was on my way to, and they started attacking my car. You got to be purposeful for it. You cannot allow these so-called people, infiltrators, to come in, to acting like they're for cause and they're really not, and there's our confusion. Because at the end of the day, that doesn't help anybody. So if you want to set a building on fire, make sure you set a building on fire that has nothing to do with the situation. It's not black owned. It has nothing to do with this. Like, if you want to do certain riots, and that's why I asked you about the Boston Tea Party. We can have this different views, but that doesn't mean you have to act like a Neanderthal. It doesn't mean you have to sit there and attack that person, because at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that Food Junkie is black. It doesn't change the fact that I'm black. It doesn't change the fact that anybody who has a different view is black. What it means is we have to come to a medium. And when we start talking about it, and then Tessie intervening, and View intervene, I mean Miss Tessie, now that I know who she, Dr. Tessie, and Miss View intervene, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I respect my people. You know what I'm saying? Miss View intervene, that doesn't mean we cannot disagree. I still have a stance that I feel like it's getting attention. Nobody on this panel may ever agree with that, but that's the way I feel. But I'm never going to attack somebody. And they came at you, they discredited you, they acted a fool with you. And I was like, well, goddamn. And when I came on there, I said, my views, my opinion may not be, I don't know if you were there because you had disappeared at the chat. I don't know if you heard it, but when I came on there, I said, my views or my opinion may not be popular. I want y'all to listen to me. I agree with both sides to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. And that went out the window. It's like I just totally agree with you, and I just totally said, no, they wrong for protest. I'm like, what y'all doing? And then I was getting attacked about this. I'm like, y'all crazy. Like, I understand, Food Junkie. It was crazy in there. And then I thought, I be in the bushes. I be in the bushes and views. I be bushes and a lot of people. Since I had something to do, or I'm listening and I'm working, it's easy, working from home, it's easier for me to work and listen in versus typing in hello and all this other stuff. So I've done heard all your videos in live since then. But tonight I was like, it's a weekend, I'm not working, let me jump on here. So I just want to thank everybody on the panel, because it was crazy. It's like, you have to be able to hear somebody out. I felt comfortable to ask Tessie, what is a co-op? You know why? Because she was talking and listening and explaining. She wasn't attacking.
Right. And my thing is,
there are things that I could have asked Running Q, but she was attacking.
Right. And but I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're attacked over here, because like I said, from the very beginning, my whole stance is I want people to be able to speak freely, speak clearly, be respectful over here, well, it's not, and respect the platform, because the only way that we can change and implement change is if we listen to one another, was not if we can, if we're open enough to hear someone out in their entirety. Like, I understand we get riled up and we get into our emotions and our feelings. Well, it's not, and this is not even attacking anyone who attacked me, because that's not, I don't believe in that. I don't know y'all well enough to attack anyone. All I'm trying to do is express myself the way I know that has helped me in the 45 years that I've been on this earth as a Black man. Mm-hmm. And what helped me survive for 45 years as a Black man may not work for the next Black man. So that's why I said I can't always identify with the overt racism that everyone is talking about, because I know that there are horrendous things that has happened to Black people in this world. I just personally have not seen them and experienced them to the magnitude in which that y'all may have seen them or experienced them. I know people who have, though. So I'm not totally blind to the fact that these horrendous things has happened. And that's saying that this can't happen to me in the future. My point is, I conduct and carry myself in a way to let people know that, one, I'm not playing with you. I know my rights, and I will fight for every aspect of my freedom that I need and want, legally and physically. It's not that I'm not soft, I'm not passive. I don't believe in kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. No, I am one.
You just want to make sense. Don't just go out there and do stuff that don't make sense.
Exactly. Because it doesn't make sense to me was not if I'm burning down a building because I want somebody to get arrested. Okay, they got arrested. The question I also asked is this: if you burn down the building and he got arrested, what is going to happen if he doesn't get acquitted and doesn't get punished? Are you going to go down and burn down the same building that's already ashes and soot? Are you going to trash the same place that you just trashed? That doesn't make sense to me. It's not logical.
And now you have a criminal record and you can't get a license or permit to do anything.
Right.
And then you're burning down buildings that has evidence that other people are needing for their cases. So you're messing up other people's livelihood while you out here burning down buildings and things.
I didn't even think about that was not. What about all the cases that they were working on in the police was that possibly could have affected you? Your anger is so damaging that you don't burn down someone else's chances for a resolution to their case and to the hurt and pain in their life. And what happened to the secretary or the garbage person in that neighborhood or that building that you cost them their job down?
And what about
the videos? I'm sorry, Tessie, go ahead.
And what about that person that's cleaning the police precinct?
Right, exactly. The cleaning person, the garbage secretary, they're all on the job now. They didn't do anything. They didn't put their knee on that guy's neck. They have no power to say this is wrong and so stop it. You know what I'm saying?
And that precinct may have had a facility. It may have had a small lockup facility in there. What about the people that may have been in that lockup back there?
Right.
You see?
Well, you know, I just want them to be smart about it. You're throwing things in the building. Now, with a lineup of police, what if they grab something and they just keep it? And then they run your fingerprint. They have your fingerprints to say that's you or whatever. Like, you have to be smarter than that. Right. And you have to have a purpose for that. I understand and I respect everybody on this panel because they're older than me. I'm not, y'all not that much older than me, but I'm younger. You know, I'm younger than Food Junkie and I'm younger than, you know, I assume I'm younger than you, Dr. Tessie. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm 50, so yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm the type of person where I listen and absorb, and even if I never have the same outcome of that person, I respect them, and that's what I wanted to happen because you could not get a sentence out when we were on the other live, and it wasn't DKL's fault. It's not even just you. I know our emotions are going high. I just want everybody to stop and chill. Because if they had a listen, let you get it out, you were never saying that everything they're doing is wrong. What you were saying is have a purpose, have a direction, and be smart about it. Because at the end of the day, they're going to lock you up, just like they did that CNN reporter for just reporting doing his job. The amendment that they're supposed to. Mexican guy locked up. I'm sorry, Hispanic guy got locked up. The African American black guy got locked up. White person didn't.
Right.
The white person didn't. So at the end of the day, they're going to still target you. And you know what? What's funny is that I was the same way we're in their chat, emotional and defensive. A few days ago. This was before we even got on DKL's chat. I talked to my friend, like I told you before, my homeboy, and he was like, Alexis, well, what happens if this, and this? And I'm like, I don't care. And I had to stop and think. No, you should care. Because at the end of the day, this is black businesses that have been there for you. And not only that, you have to be here for your child. Like, it's like when you have people of chaos come in, at that point, it is what it is because people are going to loot, people are going to put things on fire, but you have to have a plan after this. And so my thing was, when I came to you, it's let's do devil's advocate. Okay, well, let me do for this. I was doing for right now. But after it catching in, these are great things and great ideas that you guys have proposed. Miss View, you have said that this is what you grew up, going to co-op and stuff like that. Like, y'all have knowledge that y'all can teach us, because the younger generation, all we know is technology. And unfortunately, I grew up in a generation where I did not know technology, and it was thrust into me. And then now I, have to know it. And so I don't have the memories of before technology. I have them, but it's not like it. The majority of my teen years, it was technology. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I feel like
I am a historian. I've been a historian since I was born. And that's facts. And I say that I'm being a little comedic when I say that, but I went to college and my major was history, political science.
We need you. We need these videos out.
7. I was a slacker.
I love
but, I've always loved history. I've been the child that was always in the corner with my elders while they were talking about things that were going on in real life. I'm talking about my grandparents and then my parents. I've always been that kid that's always been in the back listening and studying. Just, whatever's going on, I always knew it. And I have a good memory recall. So I know what you're saying. Let's get real. But what's going on right now? It's all repeating. History repeats.
It's not new. It's not new at all. And that's why I say with that, if writing was something that would change, will truly do effective, long-lasting change, and so it's not. I say let's burn everything down right now, and that's all new. But I know based on history. Based on the past, that it doesn't happen that way. You would think about it for the.
But again, Food Junkie, these young people don't know anything else. These young people don't know anything else. So why they doing that? Can elders who have knowledge teach us something? Because you can say learn, but it's not in the school books. They're coming up. They don't think to Google that, because they think that what they learn is right, and then all of a sudden their world is different. Like, no, that video was heart-wrenching. So and let me tell you why it reached the masses. It wasn't because that was the first video released, and there's plenty of videos released out here of other killings. It was that everybody has their ass at home. The majority of people have their ass at home because of what's going on. So you have nothing else to do but to focus on something so horrendous.
The thing
is, you know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is, it's not that we can go Google. You can go Google, but it's going to take a long time. Like when I learned the electricity thing, it wasn't through the textbooks. I Googled that. I heard, and you know what? I heard a white person tell me that. I heard a white person tell me when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And then when the internet came out, I Googled that shit to make sure. And then I had to go through pages and pages, but damn right, he was right.
But all
created that. You understand what I'm saying?
The thing is,
we need the older heads.
Let's talk about imaging right quick. I mean, I don't mean to cut you off or whatever, but let's talk about imaging and history.
No, go ahead.
We know, like people who have learned, people who have researched these things, people who things that during back in the days was that black babies were used as alligator bait.
They were. Yeah.
There have actually been advertisements where that has been shown on billboards.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But
I know that because I'm in the middle of I'm 30 something, so I'm in the middle of before technology and after technology. But the people that were born after, like my brother that was born years after me, all he is knowing technology. I don't know. I mean, he knows that now because I passed it in, but they don't know that.
But it's not about just doing. To me, that's an excuse. Not saying that you're making sure not, but think about it.
No,
you have the right. You have to want to know it. If you don't want to know it, you're not going to know, regardless when you were born. If you don't understand that the word picnic came from the lynching culture, where people would actually sit around with baskets of sandwiches and food and drinks and stuff and watch black people being lynched, and they would pick a nigga to kill.
Yes.
So the word picnic is also steeped in racism and trauma of black people, was not.
Yep.
Things like that. In fact, there are postcards where they are showing people who have been lynched and hung. There are pictures in history where the people are being shown where their testicles have been cut off, where they have been gutted like fish and hung in a tree, where their feet have been cut off of that. So these images is nothing new to us. So when people say stuff like
a sea of white people in the town square as a spectacle to look upon.
Right. And still the kids are throwing tomatoes and forks and stuff at it, as if it's cute and funny and laughing. So my thing is, the images of black people being harassed and beaten and murdered is not new to this country. So my point
Can I be honest with y'all? Can I be honest with y'all? When you have white Americans and you have black Americans, that now I heard Kwani's video last night. There's no such thing as middle class. But 5 years ago, there was such thing as middle class. So you have this generation that grew up not having to learn it. Why would they need to learn that? Because what they knew was something different. Or when they got stopped and they knew it was racism, they thought maybe it was just a thing. I'm not making excuses for the younger generation. What I'm telling you is they did grow up having to learn those situations. They grew up learning BS.
Nor did I. I told you I didn't experience racism, so I didn't have to grow up knowing what was bad. But I knew that I am my brother's.
I know, Food Junkie, but you were older and you heard about it.
No, I didn't. I didn't. All the knowledge that I have, Lex, is when I was little, because I chose to.
Okay, so how did you?
I chose to make the decision, the conscious decision. I made the conscious decision to take it upon myself to learn who I am, where I came from. Why is it that I was considered when I was little and I read the Constitution was not, and I read that a black person was worth 3/4 of a human being? Sure. I chose from that point in my life to take it upon myself to get as much knowledge as possible for me to understand why they thought of this way. And when I heard stories of egregious that was happening against black people, was not. It goes back to they never thought that I was human. They never thought that someone
all of it. Because again, I was raised in the tech. I was born before technology. I was raised up before technology. When I got in my later teens is when technology happened. Let me tell you this. I'm not making excuses. I just want y'all to understand because I see both sides.
I know that, Lex. But it was technology. Lex. 1 second, baby. You keep saying technology. This information was out there before technology. And the Encyclopedia Britannica was not gave you this information. Those books, those 26 volumes, A through Z, it told you that in those.
Yeah, and my parents had
there was images in those books. So it was before technology was not. But technology makes this information easier for you to grasp and understand. It's up to people.
No, Food Junkie Boo. I'm just saying about me. I'm saying now past like the young people there.
Well, I'm saying technology makes it easier for you to grasp that. Hey, problems, how you doing, baby?
Mm-hmm.
Technology makes it easier for you to grasp this information, for you to compound this information. Was that you have your phone, opposed to you looking at 18 hours of videos on YouTube. How would you take those hours to look up
or TikTok?
Right. Or TikTok.
No, right. I'm not disagreeing with y'all. But what I'm saying is, I'm not making an excuse. I'm giving a reason. Whether the reason is right or not, I'm giving you a reason.
It's yours.
It's right. A lot of people that have not experienced it, have not made it a point to look it up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you have to experience it. You know what? I have to worry about with my 5-year-old child. They have changed the textbook. They changed them a few years ago to black people didn't come over as slaves. They came over as
indigenous.
I don't think the word.
And
No. It wasn't indigenous. It was
immigrants. Was
it immigrants? Yes. It was immigrants. They came they chose to come over here. Like, what the hell? Like, every few years, 10 years or so, you have to reinvent it. And what I tell you, I told you, my parents taught me a lot. They told me how to cops. They told me all of that stuff. That was before technology, but they didn't tell me my laws. They didn't say, go look up your laws. You learn it yourself. So a lot of times you just grow up, and whether your parents tell you or not, I can tell by how Dr. Tessie and Miss Yu have raised. Dr. Tessie and raised her daughter. You, her niece or nephew, raised their daughter. And it's not that my parents were negligent. They just wanted me to understand, because it was such a big deal growing up in the South. They wanted me to understand that, hey, if something happens, this is what you need to do. They didn't take the time out to say, look at this, look at that. And I'm not making excuses. I learned that shit on my own. But at the end of the day, this generation, no matter whether they're right or wrong, I'm not saying that they don't have the resources. What I'm telling you is they don't know. So it's a shock sometimes.
So
and even when they do experience it, they feel like it's an isolated thing. No, it's not, boo. This happens all around America. This is not. It ain't just you. It ain't no one time.
What I have for you is this right here. You said
I know, because my brother is 6 years younger than me, and all my younger cousins, all my younger brother, his friends, his frat brothers, all of them, they had to come to a realization.
But I'm not testing on Lex. Question for you is this. Okay, granted, let's agree and come to a consensus that they don't know. So now the question then becomes, are you willing to learn? Are you willing to take the time and the energy to do some research so you can be knowledgeable of what's going on and what has happened? Because history is always going to repeat itself.
It always does.
Change it, or if you or wherever it was, it's going to always repeat itself. So now we agree that they don't know. That's fine. That's out there. We know that.
Well, here's the answer. You asked, is that the question? Here's the answer. I'm not. My mom and dad taught me, helpful. If you don't know, they didn't say helpful, but I'm just saying, if you don't know, ask the goddamn question. What I do, Dr. Tessie? And people can be like, how the hell you don't know what a co-op is? I don't care what they think. I've heard it, but I don't know what a co-op is. I've heard it a lot of my life, but I don't really know what it is.
So now you know.
And I asked Tessie.
That's right.
So I asked her. So a lot of my point is that a lot of the generation, they may not ask you, or they may sit there and ask you on this fly. I'm saying our knowledge is something that needs to be passed down, because guess what was passed down to y'all? The knowledge before then. So that's what I'm saying. Although you feel like, well, you're ignorant because you're willful ignorant because you don't go look it up on Google. That does not, or you don't go to a library and look it up. I want you to understand the world that they're in, because I see both of them.
Well,
I see my brother.
But things you haven't answered the question. The question I'm asking is, are they willing to learn what they don't know? Or
I think never.
I don't know and think that that's okay. Because I think it's a difference.
Okay, well, I'm answering your question for just. Yeah, you're absolutely right. If you're not willing to learn, there's no reason for me to speak.
Right.
I listen to Miss Tess, to Dr. Tessie. I listen to Miss B. So I'm willing to. I listen to Food Junkie. I listen to you all the time, whether I'm in the bushes. I listen to you. So my thing is, I feel like now that they're actually experiencing and seeing it so right in their faces, they didn't have shit else to do but to sit up there and look at that video. They couldn't go any place, even if they were going out for Memorial Day before then. This happened. It was on a weekday, and everybody was bunkering down to go through another week of being at home, or either it was working from home or they was going to their job. It spread like wildfire. The reason it spread like wildfire, I always plan. And the reason it spread like wildfire is because of the situation with coronavirus. Now, regardless, they're willing to listen now. And y'all voices need to be heard. I have knowledge that needs to be passed down.
This one. I want to say one thing, and I'm gonna hop off here real quick. I'm so sorry this Rona situation has occurred, because a lot of people are being the kids, they putting the homeschooling into the parents' hand. This is not going to be good, because a lot, like you said, you didn't know about certain things, and now they're seeing things here on the TV, under 45's watch. I just pray for everybody right now, especially future generations, because they are going to be missing so much.
But Ms. Pam, let me appeal to what you said right quick about the homeschooling thing. When I was in the school system, was not teaching in the school system was not. I implemented a program because I realized that a lot of times that the students who wasn't turning homework was because they wasn't getting help at home. Mm-hmm. The reason why they wasn't getting help at home was because some of the parents didn't have the knowledge to help them.
Yes.
So what I did was I implemented a program that once a week I will teach the parents what I will be teaching the student the prior week. So therefore, if a student had a question with that, at least the parent have seen it before. It's hard to help a student with work that you haven't seen in 10, 20, 50 years with that. Well, we know there's the new math out there was not. Math is different now. Math is not adding 1 + 1 is that. Math is now, you take this one, you move it over to the left, and you pull it up over here. You subtract that from that to get the answer.
Completely different.
Right.
I'm gonna hop off, but you know what I was going to say, Food Junkie. And when I was growing up, the new math was a thing. My parents couldn't help me homeschool right now if they needed to. God rest both of them. But yeah, so I'm gonna hop off, and I will come back and do the replay. I'm gonna go research whatever happened where this whole conversation came up, and everybody be safe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night.
Thank you for joining me, Sweetheart. I appreciate you.
Thank you for coming.
Hey, Food Junkie, do you mind if I talk about education for a minute?
Go do it, baby. Come on. We need it.
One of the things, I'm glad you guys brought up education, because I think I definitely understand that a lot of our kids are going to be behind when it, as they are, most of them, with respect to their education, especially in the formative years, either because the parent just doesn't know what to do, but also we don't teach our children how to learn. Okay. What I have experienced is that children who are getting good grades in school are mainly getting them because they are memorizing, not grasping the concept behind what it is they're doing. So therefore, they might get an A in calculus in high school, but then the college and the professor writes on the board, please answer what is 1 - sine squared theta. They cannot answer that question. Okay. From a basic calculus class when they come in the first day of calculus. So what that means is that we have to show children how to learn, and some kind of way we're not looking at our kids' education seriously. Right. Because if my child has gotten A's in class, and then when he gets to his test, his exam, with this, and he's supposed to have a foundation, and if he cannot complete this test and make an A, then I need to understand some things. My child is not getting that conceptual understanding of the math that you're teaching.
Right.
And so a lot of our kids are learning they're memorizing rather than learning. And that right there is the problem. And it's going to illuminate itself as you go from middle school to high school, then from high school, and it definitely shows up in college.
Right. And to clarify that, what you just said is people are passing these things on memorization. That comes from the No Child Left Behind Act during the Bush years, was that where they will want you as an instructor to teach the test, not teach to learn or teach to understand or teach to comprehend. They wanted you to teach the test. So all year what they wanted you to do, and you was penalized if your child in your classroom didn't pass the test based on the percentage or the people passing the test, is They want you to teach the test. They don't want you to teach them how to problem solve.
Exactly. And so that right there becomes the problem when you go to college, because people don't understand. Mouth is going to drop when I tell you this. It's not the professor's job to teach things.
Right.
It's not.
His job is to discuss and debate with you and challenge the knowledge that you know.
Or think you know. You're absolutely right about that. And the thing is, that's all we said was not
anything. Right. You are to teach yourself.
Right. And that's the problem. That's the difference between a student and someone who learns.
Bingo. That's why our kids are not going to college, or they are flunking out with bad grades.
Right. Because let's put this in perspective was not me as a designer. When I went back to school and went for my design, my fashion design degree was not, people looked at me like I was stupid. Not because I didn't get good grades, because I wasn't asking questions that I needed to research myself. And that's the difference. I wasn't asking my instructors questions with that. Show me what you need me to learn, the basic aspect of construction of a garment. And I need to research how I need to turn what you taught me into what I want it to be.
Right. Therefore, why you call a professor a teacher?
Right.
A professor is not supposed to be your teacher.
Exactly. They're there, like you said, to challenge.
My brother is a teacher.
They're there to challenge what you know. They're there to challenge you, not to teach you anything. There's the concept to remind you what you know and debate and have you look at it differently. Have you pull it apart, put it back together again in order for you to think critically. That's why I always say it boils down to the question I asked from the very beginning of the conversation. And all this is still, although people may think that within these 2 or 3 hours that we've been discussing and talking was that we're jumping all over the place with that, but it still boils down to the same principle that I asked from the very beginning. What's the purpose? What's the concept? What's your end goal?
And that's why I brought it.
We may be jumping all over the place, but it's collective. It all.
Excuse me, excuse me.
I'm sorry.
I said what I just said, okay? Because it goes to the principal issue that we were discussing from the beginning, okay?
Right, it does.
Problem solving.
Right, exactly.
Solving.
Exactly. And then if you don't have the problem solving skills to get through your education system, you don't have the problem solving skills to get through your life situations.
There you go.
Okay.
Because tell you something.
Well, I never agree with that. My point was that yes, everything we do jumping around all intertwines. It's complex. And my thing was the school system is not the way it was. My brother is a teacher, has been a teacher for 6 years, and he still looks like he's 18. So they still have to ask him for his badge. He goes into a school, and they're asking him at his college to be a professor. So and he's like, "Nah, I want to stick to teaching the high school kids right now." So I'm not aware of that. My point is that everything that we were dealing with or talking about in this whole conversation tied in. It may have tied in at different points or different aspects, but it all tied in. I knew it. My thing
we're all saying the same thing. We're all saying the same thing, but we're saying it a different way. But that's also part of us being able to take in, like y'all know what I say. Take in what you hear and see that helps you be your best self. And discard the rest. We need to all, like I said, we're all saying the same thing. We're actually saying the exact same things in different ways. Hey, Donna Hill, baby, how you doing? But we need to basically be able to sometimes, just because we're not hearing it the way we know it to hear it was not. We need to just look at the nuances that is being said and then move on to the next situation. A lot of us like to hear stuff the way we like to hear it, opposed to hearing it what is being said.
Right.
What you're saying, Lex, is exactly what Tessie is saying, exactly what I'm saying. But we're all three saying it from our own 3 different points of views.
Right.
Yeah, we are. It's just different points of views, but it's still the ultimate same goal and same thing.
Right.
You know, and I've learned things from y'all, so I'm not taking away from that. I just want y'all to know that it's not that, you know, or somebody in the chat or me or anybody else that may hear this is not understanding. It's just that it's a different point of view, exactly what you just said. So you're exactly right. I'm just, you know, reiterating that.
Yeah. But then,
when it comes to different generations, it becomes a different type of learning sometimes.
Right, exactly, because everyone learns differently. Even the same generation, everyone learns differently. Everyone hears differently. Yeah. Everyone deciphers information differently. I can't expect anyone to decipher or to learn or to critically think the way I do it. I just want you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I want you to think beyond the scope of what you know. And think
just do it however you have to do it. Just get it. I get it.
Right.
So Tessie, finish what you were saying, sweetheart.
Right. So
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
That kind of explains the burning and the looting, you know, wanting these quick answers and getting completely upset about a situation, as opposed to sitting down and problem solving. You know, when I was a little kid, my brothers and sisters always told me, you hardly ever got any whoopings. You would always talk your way out of a whipping.
Same here.
Because, you know, by the time, you know, I being the youngest, by the time my mom got to me, she taught differently as a parent. She would always,
because her frustration wasn't the same.
Exactly. If you do this, then what will happen? And if you do that, is that really what's going to get you what you want?
Exactly. Because I learned, speaking on that point, I'll get you right back on the floor. But to that point, I always say I learned what to do by watching people and learning what not to do.
Right.
I don't want to follow the same mistakes, knowing that that's going to give me the same result, which is a butt whooping like you did. So I'm going to go around here and do it this way. I see that you getting smart and doing this while it's not, and rah-rah-rahing is going to get you in trouble. So let me see how I could do it to still get to the same point, to get my point across, but do it in a way that's not going to get me in trouble or butt whooping or restricted or things taken away from me while it's not. Go ahead, Tessie.
Okay, well, I learned. Well, hold up, because these three different lessons, and the reason why I can relate to Dr. Tessie was because I grew up with a auntie that when I was spending at her house, she had 6 kids. So by the time she got to be the only girl in the house, she was tired, and we always just for last. So that's why I understood that. But when it came to my mom and dad, my butt whoopers were like, you should have did this, and you showed your brother this and that. So I learned to not do things in front of my brother, to where you can't say that I showed things in front of him. What you got to whoop me for is what you say you got to whoop me for. Whether and you didn't have somebody say, this is what she did. Like, no. You know, these are all 3 different lessons, but they taught the same exact thing. These are all 3 different styles, but they taught the exact same thing.
Right. So that's what we got. We got some solutions, and we're going to continue to come up with more and better solutions. And that's what I want. Like, I don't want people to get in trouble and be separated from their family or, heaven forbid, die.
Yeah.
I want to live.
Right. And live within your fullest potential.
Yes.
Like, I think a lot of us, I'm sorry, go ahead, Tessie.
Live an abundant life to your fullest potential. You don't have to die. You don't have to die in this fight.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You might get bruised, but you always want to live to fight another day.
Another day. Yes.
And you don't want to give them a reason to kill you.
Right. Because where there's life, there's hope. Right. And where there's hope, there's always chance for a brighter tomorrow.
and change.
Yeah.
As you live longer, you have the more opportunities to change. You have more opportunities to be your best self. That's why I like that. A lot of things that I say in my chats was not people think just think I just be saying it. Why do you think I choose to constantly end my chats the same way every time I have a chat? Because I want you to hear it.
That's ingrained in my head.
And I want you to I want you to actually feel that was like I do really do love everyone. Even people that I've beefed with and that I've cussed out. I don't hate them.
Yeah.
Those are my brothers and my sisters. I'm disappointed that we're at the place that we are where we no longer talk. I'm disappointed in the fact that they cut off communication because to me that's cowardly.
Right.
Right.
And also, I'm disappointed at the fact that they chose to do stuff publicly when it could have easily been handled privately.
Right.
Right.
And my thing, and it is that's why. And when I do certain things, when I say certain things, was that they may not be as friendly and loving per se. It's because it's out of frustration. So I understand the frustration being the frustrating aspect of reacting. I do it on here. I understand that. So I'm not ever gonna be like, well, I don't get it. That makes sense. I do it. I get it. But at the same time, for the most part, y'all see me trying to resolve things. Y'all see me trying to prove and set an example of what I'm looking for.
Let things go.
Right. Let it go. If you don't mention me, I don't mention you. If you don't say something stupid about me, I won't say anything stupid about you. If you won't lie on me, I won't expose the truth about you.
Right.
You know I don't have.
Because since we've been on here so long, we can pick this up another day because the riots and everything is going on when I stop. I look at you guys as my I don't want to say elders because that seems I look at y'all as a guidance, put it that way. So can we just start with if you were ready? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you've been done.
You've been doing that all night.
I just want to say like.
Yeah, we're
You're right. I'm sorry.
No, but I'm saying it in a joke.
I know.
Seriously, you know I don't. You know I don't.
Sorry.
You're fine. But go.
Listen, Aries. A fellow Aries tell me that they were right because normally I'd be like, I wasn't doing that, but if a fellow Aries tell me that, you may be right.
I'm sleepy. I'm an Aries too.
We're all Aries. We're all Aries.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! No wonder. Oh my goodness. I just wanted to sit here and give my thanks to you guys and Mr. View and anybody else that were in the chat commenting on this conversation. This is how conversation should happen. Right. This is how when you have a different opinion.
We are gonna get off because I do have to work in the morning. Well, it's not. But before we leave, I want everyone on the panel right now to tell me one good positive thing that you have gotten from here. I know Lex, you started was not so good, but let's focus on what one good positive thing that you got from this conversation that we had tonight.
It's not gonna be it's gonna be one though. I can do two. It's gonna be Tessie informing me. It's gonna be Food Junkie informing me, and it's gonna be y'all teaching me. I'm young, a little bit younger. I'm not gonna say I'm 20 years younger than y'all, but I'm younger, and I appreciate the knowledge that y'all giving to me. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Tessie, what's one good thing that you got from this conversation that we had tonight, sweetheart?
All is not lost. We have people with great ideas, and we have people that are willing to work their ideas to the fullest.
That's really good. And I wanted to, first let me start off by thanking everyone who joined the panel. Pam, Lex, Tessie, I want to thank you ladies so much for joining me, and everyone who's in the chat who was here for this time, people who've been here in and out was not. I appreciate you guys so much. You know I love you guys. But one positive thing that I got from here is this. As much as we differ in opinions and the process in which we achieve the same goal, I know that there is possible for people with differing opinions and differing aspects and upbringings to come together and to talk and be respectful and understanding of one another's ideas and things. So to me, that is what I got from it. I got the fact that there's a lot of craziness and chaos going on, and there's a lot of chaos demons in this world who wants to cause destruction. Mm-hmm. But I am blessed and privy and honored to know that if you set your mind to having a pleasant conversation, a respectful conversation, it can be had. and no one can disrupt it and take it away from you. Well, it's not. I want to thank you, both of you ladies, for being here. Pam, thank you for joining me, baby, as well. Everyone in the chat, I want to thank you guys so much for being here and just being a positive energy and force in this conversation. It was a small and cute little crowd. Like I said, I don't need 1,000 people in my chat. That's not my goal.
Exactly.
My goal is to make sure that I give you something to chew on, something to nourish you, something to help you be your best self. Hence the name Food Junkie. I want you to crave this type of energy and this type of message, because we have so many different types of other energy out there that causes division and chaos. But I want this to be a platform that you can come to. We can have fun, we can joke, we can have heated debates if necessary. But at the end of the day, end of the conversation, we have learned something. We have gained something. We have gained knowledge. We have gained the respect and understanding for one another. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. As always, you know how I end it. Don't take everything that is said to heart. Take in what helps you be your best self. In essence, eating the meat and spitting out the bones. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself. That comes first. That's the most important thing you can ever do in this world, loving yourself. And then you love someone else. You respect yourself first and foremost. Because once you learn to respect yourself, you will not allow anyone else to disrespect you. You will not allow someone else to change the temperature of who you are and what you want to accomplish in this world. And then you start to respect other people when you respect yourself. I want to thank you guys for being here. This is late. I'm grateful that we had this conversation, and this is out there for people to listen to and watch and hopefully get some information that will help them live their best life. Thank you again, ladies. Thank you again, chat. Y'all have a great evening.
Thank you, Food Junkie.
You're welcome, babies. And I will talk to y'all later. Until next time, y'all.
You too, darling.
Blessed night and get some rest. I know I'm trying to.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye, y'all. Love you.
Bye.